welcome back to Alice Talks Football, and welcome back to the final summer transfer live stream. Well, actually, it might not be the final live stream because if anything happens, I will be live tonight regarding the ins and outs if anything does happen. But welcome back to the channel, and today is transfer deadline day. Is it going to be a bad day or is it going to be a good day? And I'm not going to lie to you guys. The news isn't looking great at the moment, but we've still got 8 hours. We've still got 8 hours. Anything can happen, as they say. Try to remain positive. I'm going to get through all the news. I'm going to be telling you what's been said from Laurie Whitwell, what's been said by Simon Stone, and what's been said by Fabrizio Romano. I'm going to keep you up to date with all the news that's come in today, all the negatives, all the positives, who's leaving, who's staying, is there going to be any changes made, and all of that. Could Neves happen? Because Renato Sanchez to Wolves means that Wolves could sell Neves. Could United get a last-minute buy for Ruben Neves, not on international duty? You know, the news on Neves right now is quiet, but could that change, guys? We will be talking about that. We'll be talking about what would we look like if we don't sign a CDM, how would we cope with it, and all of that. So make sure you smash that like button. Let's go. It's deadline day. Let's just keep smashing that like button. Let's get a lot of likes on this video. I don't know what the like target's going to be. We're going to go for 200 likes. So keep smashing that like button. Make sure you're subscribed if you're not subscribed to the channel and you are new. But I'm going to get straight in and cover a little bit of the news. Renato Sanchez to Wolves is off now, so that's why it's looking like Neves is less and less likely. Sanchez to Wolves, I don't think it will happen now, sadly. The thing I want to talk about quickly while we're here is one thing I want to talk about is, so Renato Sanchez is available on loan and Saul Niguez is available on loan, and Man United are crying out so badly for a midfielder. Yet when we've been offered Renato Sanchez on loan, and yet when we've been offered Saul Niguez on loan, we've turned it down. I'm sorry, this team has got McTominay injured, Fred is shit, Matic is 33, 34, Pogba's looking better on the left-hand side than the pivot, and you won't give Donny Vanderbeek a chance. Yet you're turning down loan offers for Saul Niguez and Renato Sanchez. I sit here and I go, Man United, get your act together. Get your act together as a Manchester United fan. Seriously, Saul to Chelsea on loan is back on. We will talk about the latest on Saul. Neves. Camavinga has officially gone to Real Madrid. We've got a here we go from Fabrizio Romano. And I had a feeling the minute that Camavinga went to Real Madrid, I had a feeling that we're not going to sign anyone. I think the only midfielder Man United truly wanted to sign this summer was Camavinga. Would have been Declan Rice, he was cheaper. Well, I think it was Camavinga because Camavinga was the only midfielder that we held serious talks with this summer. You know, we were offered Saul, we were like, nah. We inquired about Neves, we were like, we'll see, because Neves is third choice. The only midfielder Manchester United were actively interested in trying to get this summer was Camavinga. We went in for him and he pied us off and he wanted Real Madrid. So I have a feeling that there could be no more ins. As you can see, at the bottom of my screen is all the ins and all the outs down below. Hopefully I'll be adding to that. You know, there's some rumours about some players leaving. Donny Vanderbeek could still potentially leave. There's rumours about Martial going. It's still quiet on the moment. But again, 8 hours, anything can happen. As you can see below, Heaton, Varane, Sancho, Ronaldo in. I've got all the outs. 30 million for Daniel James. That is done and confirmed as well. Noel Kane says, Alice, can you see Saul, Basuma, or Neves maybe coming in? Saul, I don't think it's going to happen. It's really, really frustrating with Saul Niguez because we were offered a loan deal for Saul Niguez. You know, we got Saul Niguez offered to us, and we were like, you know what? Nah, for some bloody reason. Don't ask me why. We said no to Saul Niguez. Basuma's just way too quiet. If Basuma happens, I'll be surprised. Basuma would be like Ronaldo. Like, I'm not going to lie to you. This time last week, if someone had told me Ronaldo was going to be a Man United in a week's time, officially announced, I would have said, stop lying, you're full of shit. If someone had told me last week that Ronaldo would be announced in exactly a week's time, I'd tell them they were full of shit. I would. So you never know with Basuma. Although we haven't linked to Basuma, maybe in the next 8 hours, Man United are going to snap up and get Basuma. But again, I can't see it happening. Neves is the only one where there's a possibility of it happening because I know he's an active target and we've inquired about him, and there's still potential that that's something could happen with the pressure on Manchester United, the need for a CDM and McTominay's injury, but it's not looking good right now regarding Neves. You know, a lot of the English journalists are saying, look, Man United are very quiet. I think they're happy with their squad. I don't think they're going to sign a midfielder. So it's very, very quiet on the Ruben Neves front. I'm not going to lie to you. The only thing I can think of is if Renato Sanchez to Wolves is back on and Wolves can get that deal over the line, they will be happy to sell Neves. And I think, if Renato Sanchez goes to Wolves, there's potential for that deal to happen. But we'll have to wait and see. We've got 8 hours. We've got to go and see where it goes. I do want to talk about everything that Fabrizio Romano's had to stay and all that. 50 likes so far. Let's go for 500 likes, says Alicia. Well, it is transfer deadline day, so keep slapping that like button. Keep subscribing down below. Keep sharing the stream and all of that, guys. Ronaldo for 12.5 million goes straight into my team as captain. Bruno has to be dropped. We'll talk about FPL a little bit later. Ronaldo is done. Ronaldo's officially announced. And Alice, look at United report. Ollie's the one not too wanting a CDM. He wants Rice. Well, the rumour and news coming in is the reason Manchester United aren't going for Neves, the reason Manchester United aren't going for Saul, the reason we're not going for Basuma is because Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants Rice so badly. Apparently, he's willing to wait a year and go for Declan Rice. And you know what I say? I think Declan Rice would be the second best option out of all the CDMs to be linked to. I think Ndidi would be the best option. But I go Declan Rice wants Chelsea. We are going to wait a year to sign a player that doesn't want to come to us. If Declan Rice will choose to go to Chelsea next summer. So I don't know why Ollie's obsessed with Declan Rice when it's very, very obvious that Declan Rice wants to be a Chelsea player. Now, if you're Declan Rice, you're going Kovacic, Kante, Jorginho, maybe even Saul Niguez. Does Declan Rice get in the Chelsea team? No. Does Declan Rice get in the Manchester United team? Yes. So maybe we could win the race for Declan Rice. But the situation is apparently we don't want to sign a midfielder because we want to get Declan Rice next summer and we want to go all out for Declan Rice next summer. Like I say, well, that's all good, blah, blah, blah. But Declan Rice does not want Manchester United. And the second thing is, we are a CDM away from winning a Premier League title. We're not going to win a Premier League title with Fred in the midfield. People were saying, what's stopping Man United winning a Premier League title? Fred, and maybe Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's stubbornness to not play Donny Vanderbeek could stop us winning a title. Because you know what? If we get to May time and we were 2 points, 1 point off winning a Premier League title, we'll sit here saying, if only we'd signed a CDM in summer, we would have won the Premier League. We'll be sitting there saying, if we'd signed a CDM in summer, we would have won the Premier League. If we're 2-3 points off a Premier League, it's because we didn't sign a CDM. And if we don't sign a midfielder, I think we will struggle because look at the midfield performance versus Southampton. Absolutely atrocious. Look at the midfield performance versus Wolves. Non-existent. McTominay is injured. I'm at the point where I want to see McTominay and fucking Vanderbeek play in the pivot, and I never thought I'd say that. Because I cannot watch another performance of Fred's. I could not watch Fred. Put Pogba back on the left wing, get a midfielder, but right now it's looking negative, guys. I'm not going to lie to you. Right now it's looking negative. On the positive side, Viva Ronaldo. Viva Ronaldo. Let's get him in our FPL teams, by the way, guys. He is announced. He is done. His shirt number is still yet to be announced, but we'll have to wait and see where that goes. And Niall Kane says Arsenal, Brighton, and all the Foxes, Celtic striker Edward Palace have won the race for the French Celtic striker. Yeah, big up Crystal Palace winning the race for that. Crystal Palace are having quite an underrated transfer window, actually, I think, in a weird way. We'll see what they do with Vieira. Only 37 likes needed for 100 likes to go. So keep hitting that like button. Keep subscribing down below. This is my deadline day live stream. All the news as it comes in, I will be updating you on. So if any fresh, interesting news comes in, don't you worry, I'll be updating you on that. So stay tuned because this is the deadline day live stream. Declan Gill says Neves in the pivot is fine. He can make things happen from nothing, but I think Basuma is a cheaper version of Ndidi. I actually prefer Basuma to Ruben Neves. The reason I talk about Ruben Neves a lot more is because Ruben Neves to Man United we've actually been linked to. We've barely been linked to Basuma. Like Fabrizio Romano's confirmed Man United are interested in Neves. Fabrizio Romano said nothing about Basuma to Man United. But yeah, Basuma will be a really, really good option. It looks like Saul Niguez is going to go to Chelsea, by the way, guys. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with there. And maybe Koundé can go to Chelsea, but Koundé's looking more and more unlikely, which is weird because you know what? Chelsea haven't signed a centre-back and Chelsea haven't signed a midfielder, but Chelsea have just signed a striker and they look absolutely set. Absolutely set. Alice, what number is Ronnie? Is it CR28? I've not seen anything. I wait for your clarification. Only trust Alice. The reason Cristiano Ronaldo's squad number hasn't been announced is because Man United want to give him the number 7 shirt. Breaking news from Fabrizio Romano that Manchester United are in the race to sign Nuno Mendes on deadline day. Just come out from Fabrizio Romano that Manchester United are now in for Nuno Mendes on deadline day. We'll have to see what happens there. By the way, we've entered the race to sign Nuno Mendes. He's a Portuguese footballer, by the way, guys. But I forgot what I was saying. He's 19, he's a left back. I'm not really sure why we're in for him. But apparently we're in the race for Nuno Mendes. According to Fabrizio Romano, that's just come out now. We'll have to wait and see what happens with that. Is he a CDM? No, I think he's a left back. Let me just go check if he is. He's a left mid. Okay, we're in the race to sign a left mid. Not left mid, left back. Not really sure what this is about, but it's come from Fabrizio Romano. We're probably not interested in him, to be fair. But United have just entered the race for a player. But back to Ronaldo number. Sorry, I just saw that come on my screen. So Ronaldo to Manchester United. What is the situation going on with Ronaldo to Manchester United, guys? What will his number be? Now, Man United want to give Ronaldo the number 7 shirt, and they can do that, but they have to go and inquire about it with the Premier League and all that, because obviously Cavani's played a game with the number 7 shirt. So I think the reason Ronaldo's shirt number hasn't been announced yet is because United are trying to give him the number 7 shirt. I think Cavani's willing to take number 21 for Dan James, but to give Ronaldo the number 7 shirt, Man United have got to go and talk to the Premier League and be like, can we do this and get permission to do it? So it's not like we can just give him the number 7 shirt, bing, bing, bosh. We have to talk through it, and I think that's the situation. I think it's going to be Ronaldo 7, but the reason his shirt number's not been announced is because we've got to make sure we can get Ronaldo 7. As Rebuild says, we need a CDM. How are we going to win the Premier League with just Ronaldo, Cavani, Fernandes, Sancho, Varane, Pogba, and De Gea? Our fans are... we could win the Premier League with those players, but if you have Fred in midfield, it's going to make it a lot harder than if you had someone like Ndidi in midfield, if you get what I mean. Liverpool made a signing today. Jordan Henderson signed a new contract. Liverpool are disgracing the transfer market, aren't they? They've got Konaté in, and that's it. I don't feel bad for Liverpool fans, actually. Not with that. But apparently we're entering a race for Nuno Mendes, a left back, which I don't know what that is. We'll have to wait and see where that goes, by the way. But I think Mendes has been offered to everyone. We need a CDM. Why are we in the race for Nuno Mendes? So Luke Shaw will play CDM. Lol. To be fair, people talk about Lindelof playing CDM. This is one thing I want to talk about. Manchester Evening News says Man United don't want to sign a central defensive midfielder because they believe they already have 6 good options. We don't have 6 good options. We have 1 option in Matic. I don't know where this information. I don't know why Man United are saying they've got 6 options to play in defensive midfield. You've got 1 option in Matic, who's an out-and-out CDM that's 33. Fred and McTominay aren't good enough to play CDM. McTominay's probably good enough box to box. You've got a Vanderbeek you don't play. A Pogba that's looking best on the left-hand side. Who is this 6th player? Lingard. I'm thinking 6 players. We don't have 6 defensive midfield options. I saw that article and I was thinking, what on earth is our club on? Guys? Literally. Enter the race for Basuma, for Christ's sake. You know what? If I sit here and Fabrizio Romano goes, Man United have entered talks with Basuma, I'll be very, very happy. We've still got 7 and a bit hours left, so we can still get a deal done. In an hour's time, Fabrizio Romano could tweet we're in the race for Neves, and something could happen with Ruben Neves. Right now, ingoings are looking unlikely at Manchester United, but anything can happen. The only situation is if anything's going to happen, it's going to be mentioned in the next few hours. It's not like all of a sudden at 10:55 p.m. we're going to announce Neves to Man United without hearing a sign of it. In the next hour or two, there could be news on Man United going in for Neves, going in on Basuma, and that deal could be done. But as of now, it looks quiet. Manchester City, PSG are talking with Nuno Mendes, by the way. Apparently Manchester United are as well, but I do believe that will not happen. I don't know why we're going for a left back. Chelsea on the verge of signing Saul Niguez. It seems Saul Niguez to Manchester United looks like it will not happen. And Sporting has agreed to sell Nuno Mendes on the last day of the transfer window. His agent is talking to Manchester United, but again, I don't think that's going to happen. Obviously, if you are not aware, Camavinga has gone to Real Madrid, so we will not get Camavinga. Saul Niguez looks like he is going to Chelsea, which leaves us with Mr. Ruben Neves. Now, Ruben Neves is 24 years old. His price tag is £35 million. That's been quoted by Romano. He's currently on 50k a week. He can play CDM as centre mid. He's Premier League proven. He's got the Portuguese connection. He has had a solid individual start to the 21-22 season, and he will not require a quarantine. So I think Ruben Neves to Manchester United will be a very, very good, easy deal to try and get over the line. Will we do it? Will we enter the race? Right now it's looking unlikely, but as I've said, anything can happen. Uptown Cylinder says Edison Cavani is not leaving to FC Barcelona, confirmed by Fabrizio Romano. Realistically speaking, we're not going to get midfielders. The board has just manipulated us. Glazers out. Now, if we do not get a midfielder, I think it's very much right to be Glazers out because, yes, We signed some great players, but at the end of the day, the Ronaldo transfer pays off itself. We're paying Sancho, Varane, and Ronaldo itself over 5 years, so we haven't spent that much money. And we got 30 million for Daniel James. We could have easily sold Jesse Lingard if we wanted to, but we're letting him stay for God knows why reason. We could have sold Dean Henderson because we don't need two quality keepers. At the end of the day, if we don't sign a CDM, we have the right to be Glazers out. I mean, we have the right to be Glazers out anyway, because CDM going into the transfer window should have been the priority position. We should have been looking for a CDM as the priority position. And the fact that we're going to end this transfer window probably not getting a CDM is very, very disappointing, because I think we needed a CDM more than we needed Ronaldo. But the Glazers saw Ronaldo as an opportunity to get them shirt sales up, to get that team viewer shirts up, you know. Varane's an essential signing. We've got Sancho, who's last year's signing. Varane essential was signing. Ronaldo was a Glazers signing, but I'm happy with that. But we did definitely need a CDM. Now, I'm going to quickly get into some stuff that Fabrizio Romano has said regarding players. I'm just going to read out a bit of news, and then I will read and reply to some of your live chats. But Fabrizio Romano says that Edison Cavani will not leave Manchester United. There's been a lot of rumours that Cavani will be leaving to Barcelona, not happy with Ronaldo coming in. But Fabrizio Romano has confirmed that Edison Cavani will not leave Manchester United. So Cavani is not leaving. Fabrizio Romano says, will Manchester United get any new incomings? He says his feeling right now is no, but it's just the feeling. Anything can change regarding Manchester United signing players. Fabrizio Romano also said that Jesse Lingard will not be joining West Ham before the transfer deadline, and now has a huge start to stay at Manchester United, which we will talk about in just a second. And Romano says, for me, lots of players are interested in Vanderbeek. We should keep an eye on him, but I don't think he will be leaving. And if we're not going to sign a midfielder and McTominay is injured, we do kind of need to keep Vanderbeek because we bloody need him. But I also am against keeping Vanderbeek because I think for his career he should leave. But Romano says lots of people are interested in Vanderbeek, but as of now he's not leaving. Now, Anthony Martial has been linked with a move to PSG. Romano has confirmed that PSG and Inter Milan are interested in Anthony Martial, but he said there's nothing advanced as of yet. But there could be things to happen regarding Martial to PSG. And potentially if we sell Martial and we get 40 odd million for Martial, maybe we can go in for a last minute sweep for Ruben Neves, who apparently is still in England and not joined up with Portugal on international duty. So there's always potential for it to happen. Fabrizio Romano talked about Ruben Neves and Declan Rice to Manchester United, and he says, as of now, it's unlikely. We will see what happens, but for now, it's unlikely, but you never know. So Romano's saying right now, Ruben Neves to Manchester United looks unlikely, but you never know. We'll have to see what happens. And Manchester United, according to Fabrizio Romano, do not want to lose Cavani or Martial. Cavani's 100% staying, but obviously PSG are slightly interested in Martial. But Manchester United want to keep the attackers they had. And Samuel Lukash from the Manchester Evening News is saying that we will not sign any more players. We'll focus on a defensive midfielder next year. That is a little bit of the news stories coming in, by the way. Guys, thought I'd give you a mini little update there. 100 likes incoming, so let's push for 200 likes. If you are watching and you haven't hit that like button, please do get that like button. Ian says that Chelsea is getting Saul. They've already got Kante, Jorginho, Kovacic. Chelsea are the team to beat in the Premier League. This is the situation. I look at Manchester United's midfield and I look at Chelsea's midfield and I go, are you telling me that Fred, McTominay and Matic can compete with Kovacic, Jorginho, Saul and Kante? No, they can't. I've said this before. I'll say it again. Games are won and lost in midfield. And that's why I'm so frustrated that Man United aren't signing a midfielder, because games are literally won and lost in the midfield, guys. And Man United are neglecting this position this summer. And, you know, there's potential that if we do sell Martial, we do sell Lingard, or we do get Dean Henderson out of the club before the transfer deadline, we could go in potentially for Ruben Neves. There's still potential for that deal to happen. It's very, very quiet now. But I sit there and I go, if our board was ambitious, if our owners really cared, yes, you sign Ronaldo, yes, you sign Sancho, yes, you sign Varane. It's a very, very good transfer window. And normally that would be a 9 out of 10 transfer window. But when your club is crying out for a CDM, McTominay's injured and Fred is fucking awful and has looked awful first 3 games of the season, even when we beat Leeds 5-1, I thought Fred was crap. You know, not a Fred agenda, he was crap. I think surely Manchester United should be looking at a CDM. Surely we should be looking at a midfielder to bring in. And the situation with that is it's very, very quiet. Obviously, you never know. The ins and outs are down on the screen below. Hopefully, we'll get to add to that, but we have to wait and see. People say get Lindelof CDM. I don't want to see it. I mean, he'd probably do a better job than Fred, but like he's not a CDM. You know, we should get an actual CDM, I think. We're keeping Lingard to sell shirts and arrange a contract extension. Now, I do want to talk about this. Lingard looks like he's going to stay at Manchester United. And Lingard's a player that a lot of clubs were interested, Leicester and West Ham. And for some reason, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer didn't want to let go of Lingard, and Lingard wanted to stay. And I'm not sure why Lingard wanted to stay at Manchester United. Now, I like Lingard, and I think Lingard is a very, very hard-working, good player, good attitude. I'm a big, big fan of Jesse Lingard. I love the guy. But Jesse Lingard, if you stay at Man United, you're not going to get minutes. I know you support the club. I know you've had a good loan spell at West Ham. I know you've had a good pre-season, and you probably think you can get back into the Manchester United team, but you probably won't play. You probably won't play. If Donny Vanderbeek can't get any minutes, how are you expecting yourself to get minutes? You know, you're Bruno's backup. Bruno's Bruno. I mean, if Lingard's staying, why on earth do we give Mata a new one-year deal? Because Lingard can play right mid and can. You know, it makes me think, surely, if we knew Lingard was going to stay, we wouldn't have given Mata a one-year new deal. I think we thought we were going to sell Lingard, and that's why we gave Mata a new one-year deal, because what's Mata's use now? We've got Lingard, and we've got Bruno, and we've got Ahmad, and we've got Sancho. What is Mata's use to stay at the club another year? Big question there. But I look at Jesse Lingard, and I sit here and I think, so West Ham could have paid 20-25 million for Jesse Lingard, but they're willing, you know, why didn't we push this move to happen? Why wasn't Lingard pushing to leave the club? Because you're going to sit here on high wages, Lingard. You're going to sit here playing for the club you love. But this could be, you have a chance to go to the World Cup for 2022. If you move out of Man United, you go to West Ham and you continue that West Ham form, you would get picked for the World Cup squad 2022 without doubt. If you stay at Man United, you're probably not going to get another England call up. You're probably not going to go to the World Cup. And if I'm Jesse Lingard, I'm thinking I want to go to the World Cup. I've got to go somewhere I'm going to play regularly and I'm going to play well. And West Ham, Moyes, it worked for me. If I was Jesse Lingard, I'd be pushing to move to West Ham, but he wasn't. And I think that's really, really disappointing from Jesse Lingard because I think he's a great player and I just don't think he really offers Manchester United much. And I think he's a player that should have been pushing for a move. And I sit here and I go, I wish that Lingard had left once we get money for him, but for his career, I just think he's going to be wasted, by the way. I just think he is. What I do want to do, guys, is actually, I am going to share my screen with you. I've made a concept of what our squad's going to look like next season. I've made a concept of what the Manchester United squad's going to look like next season. So can you see that on my screen here? So here is the concept of what I think the squad could potentially look like next season, because obviously we've signed no one and it looks like Lingard isn't leaving. So I've put Lingard in the squad here. Now, we've got Ronaldo and Cavani as our two strikers. Ronaldo's coming in, Cavani's 100% staying. We've got Sancho and Greenwood as our right midfields. Obviously, Sancho can play on the left. Obviously, Greenwood can play striker. Obviously, Greenwood's is undroppable right now. You can't really drop Greenwood at the moment right now. Our left wing options are Pogba and Rashford. You've also got Martial, who I haven't even mentioned, that can also play on the left wing and striker. And Pogba can also play on a pivot. But Martial could be having a last-minute leave at Manchester United. We'll have to wait and see where that goes. I've got Matic and Donny in the pivot. This isn't Ollie's preferred lineup. This is my preferred lineup. This is the lineup I'd play, but I play Greenman ahead of Sancho at the moment because of form. I've got Matic and Donny. And then I meant to put McTominay and Fred under. It says Donny under Matic. It's meant to say McTominay under Matic. So just ignore that. We've got Matic and Donny, McTominay and Fred. Pogba that can also play there as well. We've got Lingard as backup for Bruno. Shaw's backup is Telles. Maguire and Varane with Lindelof and Baez their backup. So look, this squad is very, very good. And the squad depth is very, very good at Manchester United. You can see on my screen. But the area the squad depth isn't good is Matic, Donny, McTominay, Fred, Pogba. You know, okay, the squad depth and attack is brilliant because I'm not even listing Amad Diallo. I'm not even listing Martial on this screen. And they are very, very good players. But the squad depth in midfielders, you know, Matic is done, Fred is crap, McTominay is injured, Donny never gets played. You know, Pogba can play there, but he's being dragged down by Fred. It's a very, very good squad we have here. But again, I do think it's massively being dragged down by the midfield. And I think if he plays Matic and Donny and this squad, I think this is our strongest squad. The squad on my screen, I think it's the strongest squad. I think Greenwood right now is stronger than Sancho, but I think Sancho is probably a better player than Mason Greenwood. But that is probably Manchester United's strongest squad there. As well. I'm just going to go back to a full screen, but I did want to show that ahead. And I just thought like Lingard, I've put Lingard in there, but I could have easily missed out Lingard and moved Vanderbeek as the second cam, moved Martial as the second left winger and put Pogba in the midfield. It's going to be very, very hard for Lingard to get in the squad, in my opinion. By the way, if CR7 scores, did Man U fans celebrate Juventus and Real Madrid? Well, Man United fans love Ronaldo. You know, we always back him. Whatever happens, you know, it's going to be, I think, with, you know, the Newcastle game, September 11th, if Ronaldo scores at the Stretford end, it's going to go off, guys. Like, it's going to go off. And I'm so excited for the Newcastle game. But do you know what's bullshit? Do you know what's bullshit? Is Man United versus Newcastle is not even going to be shown on TV in England. Sky Sports, this is Ronaldo's debut for Man United. You better get that game. Can you give America Ronaldo's debut at Man United? No. The fact that the Newcastle game between Man United and Newcastle, Ronaldo's debut might not be shown on TV in England is an outrage. Surely Sky Sports and BT Sport will be like, we have to get this game. Like, the most watched game in League 1 was Messi's debut because everyone wanted to watch Messi's debut. You're losing a lot of money, Sky Sports, BT Sport, for not trying to take this Man United Newcastle game because that's Ronaldo's debut. That's going to get a lot of views. You know, the League 1 game, most viewed game in League 1 because of Messi's debut. Surely the Newcastle game will be back on English TV because that would be very, very frustrating if you can't watch Ronaldo's debut in England. Jadon Sancho says that Lindelof cannot play CDM. He cannot deal with long balls coming above. Poor in the end, cannot man mark. I agree with that. I don't think people talk about Lindelof playing CDM because he's played 20 career games at CDM in his past. Don't play Lindelof at CDM. Go sign a bloody CDM. Vanderbeek should leave. Vanderbeek should leave, but he shouldn't. Vanderbeek should leave, but McTominay's injured. Matic is crap. Fred is crap. We need Vanderbeek. Whether he should leave or not, he should leave for his career. If I was Vanderbeek, I would have left by now. But if we're not getting a midfielder, I pray to God that Vanderbeek stays and Ollie uses him. Now, if Vanderbeek stays and Ollie doesn't use him, I'll be very, very frustrated. But Vanderbeek could be a new midfield signing this summer. Okay, if we don't sign a midfielder and Ollie all of a sudden decides to play Vanderbeek, it could be basically a new signing because we didn't play Vanderbeek at all last season. We know Vanderbeek can play in the pivot. We know he's bulked up. He does a good job next to Matic. I think Donny Vanderbeek could do a better job than Fred in the pivot. You say if anyone sits here and tells me that Vanderbeek couldn't have done a better job versus Fred against Southampton and couldn't have done a better job than Fred versus Wolves, I don't know what kind of drugs you're on. I don't know what kind of drugs Ollie is on to think that Vanderbeek cannot do a better job than Fred in the pivot because you couldn't do a much worse job than Fred. And I look at Vanderbeek and I go, for his career, he should leave. But I'm now in the point where I'm going to be selfish. I need Vanderbeek to stay and hope Ollie plays him because we cannot go into next season with Matic, Fred, McTominay and Pogba as our 4 options to play in the pivot. Especially when Pogba's doing so well on the left, we need to use Matic and Vanderbeek. And the lineup I showed you a minute ago of Matic and Vanderbeek is the lineup I would like to see Manchester United play. And I hope Ollie does it. Now, one thing I did want to talk about, with Varane coming in, obviously, Varane versus Wolves had no protection. Maguire and Varane had no protection versus Wolves. You know, Wolves ran through Pogba and Fred like Boosh. I mean, Wolves, Adama Traore completely skimmed Fred. Varane and Maguire had no protection against Wolves. Now, if that was Maguire and Lindelof, I think we would have conceded against Wolves. I thought that Rafa Varane was fantastic against Wolves, and his pace meant that our centre-backs didn't need that extra protection. When we play Maguire and Lindelof, we need that not Fred protection. We need that Matic Fred protection because Wolves would have ran through Lindelof and Maguire. Luckily, Varane was there, and Maguire looks a lot more solid next to Varane, and I thought Wan-Bissaka looked great next to Varane. So I'm in a position with Donny Vanderbeek that I do think he is going to get more game time. Ollie said that Vanderbeek's going to get his chance, bada bing, bada boom. Vanderbeek should have been given a chance already, but I do think with Varane coming in, there's less need to play Fred. I think we play McTominay and Fred in the pivot because it protects Lindelof and Maguire. Now, Varane and Maguire got no protection versus Wolves because of Fred and Pogba. And I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's seen that Varane can cope with not being protected and not being wrapped in bubble wrap as we use. And Maguire can cope next to Varane if he's not being protected by 2 CDMs. So I do think going into future games, Ollie might risk playing Donny Vanderbeek because I think the reason he doesn't play Donny Vanderbeek is he doesn't think he's defensively good enough. But when you've got a player like Varane behind Vanderbeek, potentially Vanderbeek, you know, its defensive ability doesn't need to be that worried about because you know that Varane and Maguire will be able to deal with it if the ball gets through the midfield. Because versus Wolves, they ran through our midfield multiple times that game, and Varane and Maguire dealt with it perfectly. If that was Maguire and Lindelof, I would have been worried. I think Wolves would have conceded. So I'm thinking as well, less need for Fred with Varane coming in. Maybe Donny is going to get his chance. We will have to wait and see. Hopefully Donny gets his chance because for me, Donny Vanderbeek deserves his chance. We should sell Fred, says Courtney. I agree with you. Camavinga has gone to Real Madrid. Obviously, Camavinga was our priority midfielder. Camavinga was Manchester United's first choice midfielder this summer, but unfortunately, Camavinga has in fact gone to Real Madrid, meaning that we will not be getting Edouard Camavinga. A bargain of £25 million Camavinga to Real Madrid. Man United were in for him. Man United held talks for Camavinga. Manchester United obviously were big fans of Camavinga and really wanted him, but he's chosen to go to Real Madrid because that's the club he wanted to go to. I do sit here as a Manchester United fan going, I wish we got Camavinga, but then I go, you know what? Would Ole have played Camavinga? Would he have got the Donny van de Beek treatment? Possibly. Camavinga was our first choice midfielder, and he was the only midfielder that Manchester United actually seriously held talks with signing this summer. I mean, 25 million for Camavinga, we'd be stupid not to show interest in that. But Camavinga did, in fact, choose Real Madrid. If Real Madrid had got Mbappe, we might have got Camavinga today on deadline day. But because Real Madrid are no longer getting Mbappe, they've gone for Camavinga. Absolute bargain. Not going to lie about it. So our first choice midfielder, Camavinga, is gone. Our second choice midfielder, Saul Niguez, looks like it's going to Chelsea, which means we are down to our third choice midfielder in Ruben Neves. Can a deal still happen? 7 hours left. Anything is possible, guys. 7 hours to go. We signed Ronaldo in less than 24 hours. We could sign Ruben Neves in 7 hours. The situation is, if we are going to sign Ruben Neves, we've got to enter talks in the next couple of hours or so. Renato Sanchez to Wolves looks like it's off, so it's looking less and less likely we'll sign Ruben Neves. But anything can happen if we do sell Martial, if PSG do put in a bid, if we do end up selling Lingard, although we know Lingard will no longer be joining West Ham, but maybe if Leicester join the race for Lingard, could we sign a CDM? And I do sit it going, the Ronaldo transfer's already paid off itself. We're paying Ronaldo, Sancho, Varane over 5 years. We've got £30 million for Daniel James. Manchester United, you can afford a CDM. You don't want to buy one because the Glazers want to put that £30 million for Daniel James in their pocket rather than invest it on Ruben Neves, who was quoted at £35 million from Fabrizio Romano. But Manchester United can, in fact, afford a CDM, and we'll have to wait and see what happens. Will we sign one or will we not? Andrew says, hard to complain with the signings we brought in, but centre-back and DM were priorities and we only addressed one of them. Good business, but we needed a defensive midfielder. 100% agree with what Andrew's saying. And Rene says, I think Fred's going to play more than Vanderbeek. I think he is, but he doesn't deserve to. Fred was shit versus Leeds, even though we won, but we got away with it because we won. He was completely shocking versus Southampton. He was atrocious versus Wolves. So, yeah, unfortunately, I think Fred will get more game time than Vanderbeek once again, but he doesn't deserve it. Fred will never get dropped. I do sit here as a Manchester United fan thinking, what does Fred need to do to be dropped? How bad does Fred need to be dropped? Because if Fred can put 3 stinkers in a row, and the last 2 games Fred has been absolutely atrocious, I do sit here as a Manchester United fan and go, what the hell does Fred need to do to be dropped? Does he need to score 10 own goals in one game? I generally think Donny Vanderbeek could get subbed on in the 70th minute, score a hat-trick, set up 2 goals, put in a 10 out of 10 shift, and Fred gets sent off and puts a 1 out of 10 shift and scores 3 own goals, and Fred would still start the next game over Vanderbeek. What does Vanderbeek have to do to start at Manchester United? He bulked up. He was great in pre-season. Man of the match versus Wolves last season. Brilliant in the pivot versus Leicester last season, along with Matic. Vanderbeek and Matic look great together in the pivot. Vanderbeek's looked really good whenever he's played for Manchester United. The only times he's not looked good is when he's played as a 10 for Manchester United and he's had to do Bruno's role. What does Vanderbeek need to do is to start at Manchester United? Because McTominay's injured. Fred is shite. He's bulked up. He's played well. There's no excuse for Ollie not to play Vanderbeek other than Ollie's being stubborn. If you don't sign a midfielder, Ollie, you're going to have to use Vanderbeek because you're going to have to rotate. Pep Guardiola and Thomas Tuchel rotated more than any other manager. Pep and Tuchel rotate the most. What did they win? The Premier League and the Champions League, because rotation is important. And Ollie, you cannot be playing Fred 8 games in a row when you're going to have 2 games a week come after the international break, the Champions League starts. Donny van der Beek's got to start. He's got to start in the pivot. If you're not signing a midfielder, there's no excuse not to sign Donny van der Beek, and it's not fair on him. You let him leave or you start him. The fact that a COVID-ridden Lingard and injury-filled McTominay start over Van der Beek is a joke. I think the biggest joke of this season is McTominay was injured. We're 1-1 with Southampton. He takes Fred off for McTominay. You take Fred off for Van der Beek. You're telling me that McTominay is more likely to score a goal injured than a fully fit Van der Beek that's had a full pre-season at Manchester United against Southampton? No. Ollie needs to stop the stubbornness around Donny van der Beek. It's frustrating me. Ollie will lose his job over not playing Van der Beek and playing Fred ahead of Van der Beek. If Ollie's going to lose his job, it's because he's not playing Van der Beek and he's playing the same old shit Fred over him or playing an injured McTominay over him. That will cost Ollie his job if he ends up losing his job. I tell you that now. James has gone, yes, more James running down the wing. Daniel James to Leeds is done. We've got a Here We Go today. It's been officially done. £30 million. Guys, if you're watching and you have not already, smash that like button. We've sold Daniel James. It's transfer deadline day. Keep hitting that like button. Keep subscribing down below. Keep sharing the stream if you are watching. I'm just taking a quick swig of water, but this is the transfer deadline day live stream. So make sure you hit that like button, subscribe down below, and share this video. Rene B, a Leicester fan, says, we are not getting Lingard. We are sticking with James and Maddison. Yeah, you're not getting Lingard. I think Lingard would be good for Leicester. I think it would be good for Lingard to leave Manchester United. I don't think he's guaranteed game time. But as it stands, Lingard to West Ham will 100% not happen. Yes, says CR7 or question. It should be Ronaldo 7. The fact that Ronaldo's shirt number hasn't been announced is because Manchester United are working with the Premier League to allow them to give Ronaldo the number 7 shirt. CR7, Cavani, Sancho up front. Oh, I've got a question for you guys. To put in the live chat. What would be your ideal front three at Manchester United? What would be your ideal front three at Manchester United with all the options we have? As you can see here, this is my ideal front three at Manchester United. It's Ronaldo, Pogba, Sancho. But I'd probably play Greenwood over Sancho as of now. Now, what's your ideal front three coming next season? Would it be Rashford, Ronaldo, Sancho? Would it be Sancho, Ronaldo, Pogba? Like, tell me what your ideal front three would be at Manchester United, actually. I'm really interested to know in the live chat what you would play. But that would be mine, by the way, guys. And Andrew says Donny van de Beek needs to be brought into the team, but he would thrive better next to a DM of our mid options, would have benefited from a DM upgrade. Exactly. I think all our midfielders would thrive next to a good DM. I don't think a DM just improves us because we need a CDM and Matic can't do it anymore. But if you look at McTominay's best performances for Manchester United have come as a box-to-box midfielder. You know, McTominay's best games for Man United has come when he's played as a box-to-box. The Leeds 6-2 win, the Southampton 9-0 win, when he's been allowed to go forward. Even McTominay was quite good in the 5-1 win versus Leeds the other week because he was allowed to go forward. And he does that very, very well. And I think you put Declan Rice next to McTominay, he plays that kind of Souček role where he's allowed to go forward. I think a CDM would massively improve McTominay because I think his strongest position is a box-to-box where he's allowed to go forward. You know, I think McTominay wants to be Gundogan. You know how Pep's allowed Gundogan to go forward because Rodri does the defensive duty and Gundogan goes forward? I think that's the kind of player McTominay is because he could score goals. So I think a CDM massively improves McTominay. I think a CDM unlocks Pogba and gets the best out of Pogba. And we know that Donny van de Beek can play fantastic next to a CDM. And, you know, if you have a CDM and then every now and then you rotate Matic in to rest that CDM, you've got Donny, McTominay and Pogba that can all play as a box-to-box and probably do a very, very good job. So, yeah, a CDM would massively improve Manchester United. Saul to Manchester United would be great, but it looks like the deal is off. It looks like Saul is going to Chelsea. Do you guys think that Manchester United are going to sign anyone else today? The news as of now is very, very quiet. Wolves are actually trying to work to get some players in as well. So maybe they'll be selling a player today. But Wolves are working to get Renato Sanchez in. And they're actually looking at Sven Botman. So Wolves have got some money to spend, but maybe they'll get some money from selling. But yeah. Jesse Lingard looks set to stay. Arsenal is still crap, breaking news. No, I'm only joking and all of that. But Man United apparently going for a left back in Nuno, which I think is a load of bullshit if you want one to spin in. I think our name's just being used to hurry up Manchester City or whoever wants to get that deal done. Obviously, Manchester City will need a left back, so I think it's more likely to go to Manchester City. But David Ornstein says that Chelsea are actively working to get Atletico Madrid midfielder Saul Niguez. Negotiations are for a loan with an option to buy. The Athletic have confirmed that Manchester United will not get Saul Niguez and will not get Camavinga. It's, you know, Fabrizio Romano says Ruben Neves to Manchester United is unlikely, but still possible. But other midfield options may not happen. Fred is off on international duty, so will miss some games as after quarantine when he comes back. So you're telling me that Fred is going to miss the first few games when he comes back because he's got a quarantine, and McTominay is injured, and we're not buying a midfielder. I've just remembered that. Fred and McTominay will not be able to play the first 2 games back after the international break. So Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, you've got to play Donny van de Beek. You've got to play Matic and Pogba or Matic and Donny. Because you know what I'd do? Versus Newcastle, Pogba on the left, Greenwood on the right, Ronaldo up top, Bruno Cam, Matic, Donny. If Fred's got a quarantine and McTominay's injured, Matic, Donny. You know what's going to happen though? McTominay won't have fully recovered from his injury. He'll still be half injured and he's going to play Matic and McTominay in the pivot versus Newcastle because he won't play Van der Beek. But if Fred has the quarantine and you cannot play Donny van de Beek, if you've not got Fred and McTominay in your squad for the Newcastle game and you're still not going to play Donny van de Beek, who's fully fit, been training with you, bulked up and done nothing wrong, then Ole seriously has an agenda. Because I say this now, Donny van de Beek could lose Ole his job, not for playing, but for not playing him. That's what I think could happen, honestly. Ole forgot the rules. You only get picked if you play well. Fred has been worse since the Southampton game and not dropped. I don't know what Fred needs to do to be dropped. Yash says people forget Fred bossed the UCL and UEL last season. Fred, this is the thing, is Fred's normally okay in European games, but not Premier League games. And maybe, you know, we drop Fred into them European games, possibly. Maybe we rotate Fred into the Champions League games. Although Fred did get got red card versus PSG. Fred must have dirt on Ole. When you said we are buying Nuno Mendes, I thought you said we are getting Ronaldo's agent as CDM. George Mendes, yeah. No, we are not getting Nuno Mendes, but Fabrizio Romano says that Manchester United are in the race for Nuno Mendes. Manchester United are in the race for the left-back Nuno Mendes, but I believe we will not get him. We don't need a left-back. It would be very, very silly if we spent money on a left-back when we're crying out for a CDM, guys. The situation is for everybody joining that Jesse Lingard will be staying at Manchester United. He will not be going to West Ham. Diego Dalot is staying at Manchester United and Edison Cavani is staying at Manchester United. There's still questions around Anthony Martial and Donny Vanderbeek's future at Manchester United. They've not been confirmed as staying. Clubs are actively in for them right now. Camavinga has gone to Real Madrid and Saul Neves, it looks like he's going to Chelsea, which means Manchester United's only midfield option yet is Ruben Neves. But the situation with Ruben Neves and Manchester United is very, very quiet right now. Especially because Wolves haven't got Ronaldo Sanchez over the line. It doesn't look like Man United will be getting Ruben Neves as of now. But 7 hours left to go. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. We'll have to wait and see. As Niall Kane says, guys, keep smashing the likes. Currently on 152 likes. Let's push for 300 likes. We've got nearly 300 people watching. If you're watching and you haven't hit that like button, let's push for 300 likes. Any questions for me, by the way, guys, please do pop them down below in the live chat. I'm going to try and read and reply and respond to as many questions as possible. Any questions on Man United transfer news, ins and outs, put them in the live chat. I will try and answer as many as possible, by the way. Are we sure Fred is Brazilian? I'm not sure. Is Martial to PSG true? It's true. Martial to PSG. It could potentially happen, but nothing's advanced. So Richard Romano said there's nothing advanced going on between Martial and PSG, but they are actually interested in him. I think with Martial and Donny, they're the ones to keep an eye out, but nothing advanced. Very, very reliable journalist in Francesco Parisio, works for Fabrizio Romano, said that something could happen with Donny Vanderbeek. Keep an eye on him. Fabrizio Romano said there's nothing advanced with Anthony Martial to PSG, but they are interested. And Romano says it's looking very, very quiet around surrounding Ruben Neves, but anything is possible. Samuel Lutka says that Manchester United believe it's most likely Daniel James will be the only permanent outgoing at Manchester United. Cavani will not be sold. James to Leeds, here we go, £30 million, £25 million, rising to £30 million in add-ons is all done and dusted. By the way, James is now a Leeds player, so good luck to Daniel James. I do want to say that to him, good luck. Romano says that Manchester United are fine. They are happy with the team they have. They do not want to lose Cavani. They do not want to lose Martial. They do not want to lose any of the attackers they have. Edison Cavani could be assigned a new number as Manchester United attempt to secure permission for Cristiano Ronaldo to regain the number 7 shirt. So it looks like we're going to try and find a way to give Ronaldo the number 7 shirt, and that's why Ronaldo's squad number hasn't been announced yet. Apparently, Manchester United are in the race to get a €40 million deal for Nuno Mendes, but he's a left back. I don't really believe that is the case, by the way. That's just a rumour. I think our name's being dragged into that deal just to hurry up other players. Kylian Mbappe looks set to stay at PSG, hence why Real Madrid did buy Camavinga. And it would take an extraordinary set of circumstances for Cavani or Martial to leave Manchester United as well. News coming in. If Lingard stays, is good or bad business from the board? I think it's bad business from the board. I think it's bad business for Lingard, and I think it's bad business from the board. I'm just going to take a quick swig of water, then I will talk about a few other things. I think Lingard staying is bad business from the board because you've got to remember we gave Mata a new 1-year deal. If we gave Mata a new 1-year deal because we're worried about Rashford's injury, surely we thought that Lingard wasn't staying. I think the only reason we gave Juan Mata a new 1-year deal is because we didn't think that Jesse Lingard would be staying at Manchester United. I think we all thought he was going to go. We were told throughout the transfer window to expect Jesse Lingard to leave. Jesse Lingard would leave. But now being told Jesse Lingard's staying because for some reason we cannot get £25 million for Jesse Lingard. Now, is that Jesse Lingard because he wants to stay? Is it because of his wages? Is it because Jesse Lingard doesn't want to leave? Is it because Ollie wants to keep him? But realistically, Man United expected to sell Jesse Lingard and expected to get £25 million for Jesse Lingard. Let's be honest. We gave Mata a new 1-year contract. With signing Sancho, with Bruno, with Vanderbeek, with all the players we had, if we thought Lingard was going to stay, we wouldn't have given Mata a new 1-year extension because Lingard comes ahead of Mata and they play the same positions. So Mata, who barely got on the team last season, has now got Sancho and Lingard to compete with. So he's not even going to... I don't think Mata's going to get any minutes this season. He'll probably play him over Vanderbeek. You know what Ollie's like. But the situation is Lingard staying is bad business because you could have got 25 million for Jesse Lingard or even 20 million and sold him on deadline day because we got 30 million for Daniel James. If you get 20 million for Lingard, that's 50 million pounds. The money we got for Daniel James and the money we could have got for Lingard could have gone into a really, really good CDM. I think it's bad business from Lingard because I think he's not going to get in the World Cup squad. I think he's ruined his career staying at Manchester United. I know he loves Manchester United. I know he's great at West Ham, but if you go to West Ham, you're a star. If you go to Manchester, ouch. If you go to Manchester United, you're behind Bruno Fernandes. You're behind Sancho. You're behind everyone. I mean, you probably had a Donny Vanderbeek. But I think it's bad business we haven't sold Lingard, and I think we thought we were going to sell Lingard because why would we give Mata a new 1-year deal? I think that is really unfortunate business from Manchester United. Yash says Mata is there for professional and leadership vibes, I guess, but we've got Ronaldo, we've got Bruno. We don't need Mata for his leadership vibes. We've got Champions League around, we've got Ronaldo, we've got Bruno. I think us keeping Mata was a mistake. Andrew says that Daniel James is a decent player, have a good career elsewhere, just never was United level. All the best to him, exactly. I think he will develop under Bielsa. I think he suits Bielsa's style of play. And I think Bielsa will get the best out of Daniel James. I think it's the best move for Daniel James's career. I think it's the best move for Manchester United to get 30 million for him. We were not going to use him. And I think it's a good move for Leeds. Did Leeds overpay for Daniel James? I think he's £20 million max. Yes, Leeds definitely overpaid for Daniel James, but I think it's a very good move for Daniel James, a very good move for his career. 100%. Uptown Cylinder says Lingard should have gone Arsenal because they are both on the same level. What happened to benching players who were shit? What club have we become? We have almost become like Arsenal. I mean, have Arsenal at 20th, we are second. Like, let's calm down a bit. We're not Arsenal level. Arsenal spent more money than us this transfer window. And we're keeping Lingard because Bruno might get injured and we haven't brought an attacking midfielder. Grealish or Griezmann. Yeah, but Ole Gunnar Solskjaer for some reason sees Donny as an attacking midfielder. So surely if Bruno gets injured, he just uses Donny. Surely, because that's what Ole views Donny as. So I don't know, to be fair. I don't know. Someone just commented TikTok girl. I do have TikTok, by the way, that I am called the TikTok girl now. And we're keeping, and obviously that's the comment regarding that. Anything coming for Tchouaméni? Yeah, so we were linked to Tchouaméni from Monaco. We've been linked to him a little bit, but not. I'd be very, very surprised if Manchester United went ahead and signed Tchouaméni from Monaco. I don't think anything's going to happen. If there's an in, I think it's going to be a shock player that we're only going to get linked to the next hour or two, or we're going to go for Ruben Neves. And I think the only way we sign a player now is if we sell someone. But yeah, Daniel James has started signing the paperwork at Leeds. Daniel James finally gets his move to Leeds. Official and confirmed by Leeds that they have signed Daniel James. It's quite funny that Daniel James finally gets his Leeds move because he almost moved there 3 years ago. It does kind of make me laugh again. But Daniel James to Leeds has been done and announced. Ronaldo's price on FPL, guys. I did actually want to talk about this. Ronaldo's price on FPL is £12.5 million. Will you be subbing Ronaldo into your FPL team? Will you be subbing him? A lot of people are going to be bringing him in for Bruno, actually, because obviously he'll be taking penalty and all of that. But Daniel James officially left 25 million, announced as a Leeds player. Very, very good business. How are you now? We're not signing anyone else. I'm very disappointed we don't sign anyone else. Look, it doesn't look like Man United are going to sign anyone else. As a Man United fan, it doesn't look like we're going to sign anyone else. But there's still 7 hours to go. Anything can happen. No one thought we were going to sign Ronaldo. Boom, we went to sign him. So I'm trying to stay positive regarding the situation that anything can happen. Hopefully we go ahead and sign someone. We'll have to wait and see. I just say keep an eye on Ruben Neves to Manchester United. Keep an eye on Ruben Neves to Manchester United. Let's wait and see what happens. Let's wait and see if anything interesting happens, if you know what I mean. Hopefully something interesting happens, but it's very much, it's a very much a wait and see situation regarding Neves to Manchester United and all that. Any questions for me, guys? Please do pop them down below in the live chat. I'm going to try and read and respond to as many questions as possible in the live chat. So if you have any questions regarding transfer news, any questions asking me, any questions regarding how will we line up versus Newcastle, please do comment them in the live chat. I'm going to be trying to get through as many questions as possible. Breaking news, Dan James is a done deal. Ricky will be fuming, says Anil Kame. And I think Dan James was a fair financial deal for everyone. They're getting a decent player. He has international and did fairly well since coming from the Championship. Yeah, and he's still a young player. He's 23, Daniel James. I still think 30 million is a little bit too much for Daniel James, but I don't think it's ridiculously bad business from Leeds. And yes, it's been confirmed. Yash says Basuma wins us the league, but I doubt he's being sold. He'll probably why Brighton won't get relegated this season as Sanchez. I mean, Basuma is an absolutely top quality player. I'd love at Manchester United. I'd absolutely love Basuma to come to Manchester United. He's a top quality player, but we're not in for him. It's an absolute shame that we're not in for Basuma, but Manchester United are not in for Basuma. I think he's a player that we could have needed. He's a player that I would have wanted, but Manchester United, unfortunately, are not in for Basuma, and I think it's silly. I think he would have been a top player, but again, I don't think Brighton want to sell him. Unless we offered Brighton maybe Ghana on loan. Yeah, very, very frustrating situation and all of that. Tchouaméni is not happening, by the way. We will not be signing Tchouaméni. If we do, I'd be very, very surprised, but I'm pretty sure that deal's been told that he's not going to go to Manchester United. And Stephen Lay says, just of the £37 million for Ruben Neves. Well, Fabrizio Romano quoted Ruben Neves at £35 million. If Manchester United offered Wolves £35 million for Ruben Neves, they could indeed get this deal over the line. £35 million could get us Ruben Neves. Our first choice in Camavinga has obviously gone to Real Madrid. That's a here we go. Our second choice in Saul Niguez is very, very close to joining Chelsea. So we're left with our third choice in Ruben Neves, which I think is actually the best of those three options when you think of instant impact. And, you know, Wolves are looking at midfielders. Wolves are trying to spend some money on deadline day, meaning that Wolves will be letting players go. And if Manchester United want, and if we are interested in Ruben Neves, we'll be going for a last minute move. Probably not, but £35 million for Ruben Neves. I think we should go in for him and try and get a deal done. Anything can happen. 7.5 hours left of the transfer window. Anything can happen. We could all of a sudden get a tweet from Fabrizio Romano in 10 minutes' time going, Man United have entered the race for Ruben Neves, blah, blah, blah. In an hour's time going, it's close. But realistically, it doesn't look like Man United are going to bring anyone in. The power of CR7. We are going to talk about Ronaldo in just a second, by the way, guys. I'm just going to take some water because I'm ridiculously thirsty today. But we are going to be talking about Ronaldo and what he adds to Manchester United. And we've got a video coming out on Thursday, which is the predicted starting 11 versus Newcastle. We're going to be talking about how will Man United line up with Ronaldo, Varane, Sancho, Pogba, Bruno. You know, all the ways we can line up versus Newcastle as well on Thursday. So do subscribe for that. But back to the news. Bada bing, bada boom. Ronaldo to Manchester United, brilliant deal. Ronaldo to Manchester United, very, very happy with it. Brilliant deal. Absolutely glad we signed Ronaldo. Glad we stopped him going to City. I think, you know, Juventus are really struggling without Cristiano Ronaldo. Even at 36 years of age, he scored a lot of goals. I think his movement will be very, very important. I think he's an absolutely fantastic player. I mean, Juventus are completely in the mud without Ronaldo. 2 games and they haven't won one yet. That's the situation with Juventus. Like, he added a lot to Ronaldo. Even Juventus players are going, shit. Fans are going, shit. We didn't realise how much we'd miss Cristiano Ronaldo. I mean, look, he's a fantastic signing. He's a fantastic player. He's going to add so much. Greenman's going to develop from him. I think, you know, Ronaldo in the attack is brilliant. But I look at the Wolves game and I go, would Ronaldo have scored a goal versus Wolves? Probably not. Now, Ronaldo's like Greenwood. Ronaldo's like Bruno, where he can just make something out of nothing and score a goal. Even Rashford can do that as well. We've seen Rashford do that before, where, you know, Man United are very, very lucky that even though we have such a shit midfield, we've got the attack to get us out of jail. And I think the reason we came second last season, even though we didn't play well, and actually I think there was a lot of other teams that played a lot better football than us, is because we have players to get us out of jail. And Ronaldo's one of those players that will get us out of jail. He will get no service, but all of a sudden he needs one header, one touch of the ball, and he can score. And I think as well with Ronaldo, although we might not be getting a CDM, and although, you know, it's going to be very, very difficult going into the season without a CDM because the midfield performance versus Wolves, the midfield performance versus Southampton was very, very poor. You think with Ronaldo coming in, surely the midfielders will be sitting there going, I've got to up my game. Surely the midfielders will be sitting there going, you know, Ronaldo's not going to let that shit happen. Ronaldo's got this mentality. He's got this leadership mentality. He's a leader. He's a proper professional as well, Cristiano Ronaldo. You've also got to bear that in mind. And I do think with him coming in, I just think it's going to probably force the midfield to up their level. And maybe Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, now he's got Varane and the defence needs a lot less protection. I said this at the start of the live stream. Now Varane's in, Man United's defence doesn't need as much protection. We used to play McFred to protect Maguire and Lindelof. We used to play McFred or Matic and Fred just to protect Maguire and Lindelof and let them sit deep. I think with Varane coming in, the defence needs less protection. We saw that versus Wolves. They ran through our midfield. Varane got no protection and he dealt with it fine. You know, if that was Lindelof and that was Maguire, we could have conceded 3-4 goals. But Varane showed that he's got the pace, he can deal with not being protected. And I think with the attack we have, I think with the defence we have, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer can afford to be more risky with the midfield and actually go, you know what, Matic and Pogba, you know what, Matic and Donny. Because, you know, if you give Ronaldo service, he's going to score. If you protect the defence, they don't need protection anymore. So I do think, as well as Ronaldo coming in, I think especially with Varane coming in, I think hopefully the midfield will improve because Ole won't need to play such a negative midfield. And even if he does play McFred, sometimes when he plays McFred, McTominay does go quite far forward and McTominay can contribute stuff going forward. You know, I look at McFred and I go, they're not good enough. But I have no issue with McTominay playing with Pogba. I just don't. I have an issue with McTominay playing with Fred as well, by the way. But I thought I would just throw that out there. The power of Cristiano Ronaldo. Everyone get your Viva Ronaldos in the chat. Viva Ronaldo. Viva Ronaldo. Running down the wing. Hear United sing. Get your Viva Ronaldos in the chat and all of that. At the end of the day, we signed Ronaldo. Has this been a great transfer window? Probably not. Have Man United had better transfer windows? Yes. Actually, it has been a good transfer window. We signed Sancho, we signed Varane, we signed Ronaldo. It's been a good transfer window. We haven't signed our priority CDM. There's still time to go. This is the deadline day live stream. It's going to be a 2-hour live stream. Obviously, keeping you up to date with all the latest deadline day news. as it comes in. But you've got to get your Viva Ronaldos in the chat. Hopefully more to come regarding Ronaldo to Manchester United. Yash says that Lingard is good enough for West Ham. Arsenal was fucking shit, mate. Arsenal's beyond shit. Lingard makes all the teams outside the top 4. Exactly. Lingard walks straight into that Arsenal team, but Lingard's too good for Arsenal. Man United should get Basuma, and Arsenal falling down. Do not compare us. Yeah, do not compare Arsenal and Man United. This guy says that Lingard will never leave as he doesn't care of his future. He's just living his current days. He wants to show off on Instagram with Cristiano Ronaldo. He is the least bothered if he sits on the bench for 38 days. I think Jesse Lingard went to West Ham because he wanted to get back in the English squad. He wanted game time. I generally think that Jesse Lingard thinks because he had a good loan spell at West Ham, he's going to get a chance at the Man United squad again and he's going to revive his career at Man United. Jesse Lingard, you've got Bruno in front of you. Your Man United days, as much as I hate to say it, are over. I love Lingard. I love him, but he needs to leave. And I think Lingard generally staying because he believes that he can actually do something at Man United. I think Lingard generally believes that he can be a Man United regular, but for me, he's not. He's not. I just think Lingard should have gone. Lingard is staying at Manchester United unless something crazy happens, but I do think that Jesse Lingard should have left. Ash says Basuma wins us the league. Viva Ronaldo. Viva Ronaldo. Everybody, if you're watching, I've got one thing for you guys to do. If you're watching right now and you've not hit that like button, hit that like button. Hit that like button for Cristiano Ronaldo coming back to the Premier League. Smash that like button. If you're watching and you haven't hit that like button, go and hit that like button because I'm keeping you up to date with all the latest Manchester United news and transfer news. It's transfer deadline day. And if you want to stay up to date with all the latest Manchester United news and transfer news, subscribe, like. If any breaking news comes out this evening, I will be live. So this is my 2-hour live stream. This is my 2-hour deadline day live stream, by the way, guys. But if any breaking news comes out, if all of a sudden Martial leaves or all of a sudden we sign Ruben Neves, I will be live again tonight. I might be live 9 to 11 p.m. if it looks like something's going to happen. But if any breaking news comes out or it looks like something's going to happen, there will be a second live stream tonight regarding Manchester United news. So do subscribe if you want to stay up to date with that, and hit that like button. Guardiola to Arsenal and Arteta to Man City swap. You know what? I'd like that because I think Arteta would mean that Man City wouldn't win the league because Arteta is absolutely right. I did murder the song. Okay, I know. Yas says, yeah, he just needs to bulk up a bit. Garner is how tall again. Garner's obviously gone on loan to Nottingham Forest. Welcome to Man United, Neves. I wish we could be saying that. I wish I could be tweeting right now. Welcome to Manchester United, Ruben Neves. But the situation with Neves is very, very quiet at the moment. And can't win the title with Fred and Matic. Simple as that. Facts. You cannot win. Look, we can have all the players in the world. I mean, we've got Ronaldo, we've got Sancho, we've got Bruno, we've got Pogba, we've got Greenwood, we've got Rashford, we've got Varane, we've got Luke Shaw, we've got De Gea, we've got Maguire, we've got Aaron Wan-Bissaka, but we won't win the league with all of those players because we play in Matic and Fred. You will not win the league with Matic and Fred, and you are 100% right. A team with Ronaldo, Sancho, Bruno, Pogba, Rashford, Cavani, Greenwood, De Gea, Varane should be winning the Premier League. But the reason this team is not going to win the Premier League this season, if they do, I'd be very, very surprised, and fair play to Ollie, is because of Fred, and it's because of Matic, and it's because of McTominay, and it's because of the midfield. Because games are won and lost in midfield. Manchester City lost the Champions League final because they did not play a CDM. CDM is honestly the most important position on a football pitch. It is so important because it controls the game. The CDM has the most important role because it doesn't only protect the defence, but they're meant to control the game, dictate the game, pass the ball to the attackers. Without a CDM, we're going to struggle. And we've got 7 hours left to sign a CDM. 7 hours for Manchester United to go out there and sign a CDM. Fingers crossed we go and do it. Ruben Neves looks like our only option left, unless we go last minute in for Tchouaméni. Basuma, possible deal for Cooper Miners and Paulinho. There's 2 really, really cheap players out there, in Paulinho at Sporting Lisbon and Cooper Miners in the Eredivisie that Manchester United could potentially try and go for in the last minute £20 million deal, and that would be the kind of deal I'd expect to see happen. I think Ruben Neves is very, very quiet. It's still possible, but I think it's quiet. I think if there's going to be a deal, it could be a Cooper Miners or someone quite quiet. So, but, you know, the Manchester Evening News, the Athletic, the Romano, they're all saying it's quiet. It looks like Man United are happy with their business. It looks like they don't want to sign anyone. You know, it looks like it's still quite quiet from a Manchester United perspective, but hopefully things change. I think everyone should go on Twitter and press United to sign the CDM. I think we should just tweet United, please sign a CDM. I mean, everyone on Twitter is telling Man United to sign a CDM. Basically, everyone on Twitter is telling Man United to sign a CDM anyway. But yeah, Daniel James is finally a Leeds player. It does make me laugh how Leeds could have got him for like 8 million years ago, and now they've had to go and spend 30 million to get him. But Daniel James is, Bielsa clearly rates Daniel James. And look, whether you like Daniel James or not, he's not our worst player. I would play Daniel James over Mata. Daniel James, what you get with Daniel James is a player that works really, really hard. You know that when Daniel James plays for Manchester United, he's going to try his hardest week in, week out. You know he's going to work his socks off. And I had no issue. Like, I had issues with Daniel James starting over Greenman. I have issues with Daniel James starting over Donny Vanderbeek, but I didn't have any issue with Daniel James as a player. He's a great player. He works hard. That's what you get with Daniel James at Manchester United. And I do wish him the best at Leeds. I think he will be a good player for Leeds. And I hope that he is a good player for Leeds. I really hope he goes to Leeds and he becomes a great player for Leeds as well, actually. I really do hope he does that. Any questions for me, pop them down below in the live chat. We've got another hour left of the live stream, so keep putting any questions down below. Hopefully some news will come in the next hour. The reason I'm doing a live stream from 3:30 to 5:30 is because I believe that if something's going to happen, it will be announced by 5:30. I think if we get to 6 o'clock and we're not even in talks for a player, I don't think we're going to sign anyone. But there's been times where Man United have all of a sudden entered talks for a player at like 5:30 in the evening, and then we've gone on to sign them. So the reason I'm going live to 5:30 is I think there's still, but I think if we go in for talks for a player now, we can still sign them. But I think once you get to 6 p.m, it's very, very unlikely that you can get anyone over the line without even going into talks for them. Don't you think Donny Vanderbeek deserves a chance in the holding midfield position too now that United tried Pogba on the wing? Yeah, I think Donny Vanderbeek, I think the fact that we don't have a CDM, that Fred, McTominay and Matic have had so many poor performances, especially Fred as of lately, I think it's completely unfair not to even try Donny Vanderbeek there. I completely agree that. I think it's completely unfair. I do agree with that comment there. What do you think of Dean Henderson's chance of playing? I think De Gea is undroppable. I mean, maybe Ollie prefers Henderson. I don't know. He started to prefer Henderson towards the end of the season, but the way I see it is he's undroppable. David De Gea is undroppable. And, the fact that we gave League One a new contract and signed Tom Heaton is because we expected to sell one of the keepers. Man United thought they were going to sell one of the keepers because you don't need 4 keepers, you need 3. If I tell you what, if we thought we were going to have Henderson and De Gea this time next year, we wouldn't have given Lee Grant a new contract, or we wouldn't have signed Heaton. But the thing, what Man United wanted to do is they wanted to keep Henderson, they wanted to have Tom Heaton as backup, and they wanted Lee Grant as third. But they couldn't get rid of De Gea because of his wages. De Gea's come in, proven that he's just way too good. Now they can't. Now they like, shit, should we try to get rid of Dean Henderson? Ramsdale 30 million. Surely we could get 40 million for Dean Henderson. Dean Henderson doesn't want to leave Man United because he's got an ego on him, which is a good thing, where he thinks he can start over De Gea. And maybe he can, but I don't think he's De Gea's level. So Dean Henderson's probably going to be on the Manchester United bench. I'm not going to lie, I don't think he's going to get much game time unless De Gea makes a mistake. And I think it'd be unfair to drop De Gea if he makes one mistake, because De Gea's. If it wasn't for De Gea, we'd have 3 points. If it wasn't for De Gea, we'd have 3 points after 9 games. We have 7 points. De Gea has single-handedly won Manchester United 4 points. De Gea and Greenwood have single-handedly won Man United 4 points this season already. So they do not deserve to be dropped. And I think we planned that one of the keepers would leave. I think we realised last season you can't have 2 first-team keepers. You only need 1. And I think, unfortunately, because we're unprepared, we're going to go into this season with 2 first-team keepers. I think Manchester United thought they were going to sell Jesse Lingard, and I thought they were going to sell one of the keepers, because why on earth would you give Lee Grant and Juan Mata a new contract if you're going to keep Jesse Lingard and keep your keeper anyway? There'd be no need. You're just wasting wages. Especially with the mentality of Varane coming in, mentality of Ronaldo coming in. You can't even say it's because of Lee Grant's experience or Mata's experience. Bullshit. That's what I have to say as well about that. Matic just passed his best. Doesn't take a genius to tell you that. Bleach Guy says, I'm so worried next season Cavani, Pogba, Donny may leave our team much weaker alone. I do worry. I feel like this is the thing. I feel like we are CDM away from competing this season. And I feel like, yes, CDM could be priority next season. But what if Donny leaves? What if Pogba leaves next season? Then we're going to need 3 midfielders. What if Cavani leaves? We're in a situation where we're taking a gamble. We're taking a gamble that Paul Pogba is going to sign a new contract. But if Paul Pogba leaves our team on a free, we don't need 1 midfielder. We need 2 midfielders. If Cavani leaves on the free, well, we got Ronaldo, we got Greenwood, but maybe we'll sell Martial. Yeah, I 100% agree with that. I think we're taking a massive risk keeping, not signing a CEM, because, we might have to sign 2 midfielders if Paul Pogba leaves on the free. 1 midfielder doesn't replace Paul Pogba. You need to replace Paul Pogba. You do need to spend 70, 80 odd million pounds as well. But yeah, Alice, are you guys getting a CDM? News surrounding Manchester United getting a CDM is very, very quiet at the moment, guys. The news surrounding us getting a CDM is very, very quiet. It's still possible. anything's possible, but again, very, very quiet. Looks unlikely. If anything's going to happen, it's going to be Ruben Neves or some really small Arsenal kind of sign, because everyone Arsenal signed, I tell you what, I've never heard of. Everyone Arsenal's gone out and signed, I tell you, I've never heard of. So I feel like if we sign a CDM, it's Neves or it's an Arsenal sign. It's someone we never actually heard of. Matic just passed his best. We didn't even try to get rid of Lingard. I think that's the disappointing thing. I don't think we even pushed for Lingard to go. Apparently, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wanted to keep Lingard. I think Ole's just being greedy. How is Lingard in Ole's plans? Like, I like Lingard, but how is he in Ole's plans, honestly? Francisco says we should buy Florentino Luis. Is he the Benfica guy? He is a top player, but he needs play time. He's actual, which is his actual coach doesn't give him because he's young. Would Ole give him that, though? And I do not mind Ahmed staying to get to train with Ronaldo for a bit. He's likely to go on loan in January, hopefully a better league than Eredivisie. Yeah, I was hoping that Ahmed would go somewhere like Crystal Palace on loan. Obviously, he's injured now, so Ahmed Diallo will not be going out on loan. But yeah, maybe it's best for Ahmed Diallo to not go out on loan now. He's out for 6 weeks injured. And Henderson, Lingard, Fred need to be sold. Bring in one CDM this window. Look, if Manchester United decided in the next 7 hours they were going to sell Henderson for 40 million, Lingard for 25 million, and get 20 million for Fred, and then go and invest that on Wilfred and Ndidi, I fucking love this club. But realistically, that's not going to happen. That would be the dream. That would be the dream that Fabrizio Romano tweets, Fred to Manchester City, 25 million. Here we go, because they can have Fred. Fabrizio Romano tweets, Lingard to Leicester, 20 million. Here we go. Dean Henderson to, I don't know, Borussia Dortmund, 30 million. Here we go. Oh, shit, Man United have just raised nearly 90 million like that. Boom. Indeed to Manchester United, here we go. I mean, that would be the dream, but that's not going to happen. I mean, I did say Ronaldo wasn't going to happen, but I'm more confident that that's not going to happen. What do you think Ronaldo will start or come off the bench? Ronaldo's surely got to start after Newcastle. You can't bench Ronaldo. I know Greenwood's in great form. I know Cavani's decent, but you can't bench Ronaldo. I believe Ronaldo will start versus Newcastle. I will get into my starting 11 prediction for Newcastle, but obviously we've got international break. The Newcastle game's not for 2 weeks. Yas says Greenwood is underrated. Rooney, Robin van Persie, Ruud van Nistelrooy and Robin van Persie vibes. Greenwood's a massively underrated player, actually. I think Greenwood is fantastic. Look at this. Mason Greenwood stats. Let's look at Greenwood stats, actually, guys. I mean, we're going to talk about Greenwood. We're going to big up one of our big old Manchester United players here. Let's big up one of our Man United players here. The Wi-Fi is lagging, so we're definitely going to share my screen as well. Let me just share my screen with you. Bear with me a sec. I've got something to show you. I've got a bit of a graphic to show you here, so bear with me just a sec. Here we go. This is Mr. Mason Greenwood. Okay, so Mason Greenwood, 3 goals in 3 Premier League appearances. 200, brilliant for Mason Greenwood there. Goal. Been absolutely fantastic for Manchester United. Bada bing, bada boom this season. Now, last season, Mason Greenwood had an off season. He started slow, but he still had a good season. 12 goals, 6 assists, 18 years of age. Not too bad. 18 goal contributions to 3,000 minutes. He did start slow, but he did very, very well. Now, actually, what I want to show you guys is this. This is obviously Mason Greenwood's Premier League stats. So, let's have a look at this. So he was involved in these games. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So from game week 30 to game week 37. So in 7 games, Greenwood got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 goals and 1 assist. 6 goals and 1 assist, yeah? So Greenwood has got 10 goal contributions in his last 10 Premier League games, by the way, guys. Because all of a sudden versus Brighton, he came into form. All of a sudden versus Brighton, Greenwood came into form. So he's got 10 goal contributions in his last sort of 10 games. If we look at 17-year-old Greenwood and MG26 as well, if we look at Greenwood's stats from the season before, Greenwood was 17. Obviously he's actually got 17 goals because this is under 18s, but 17 goals, 4 assists at 17 as well. Like Greenwood, this guy, like look at end of the season Greenwood. Greenwood last season started slow. Greenwood the season before started slow, but the last 2 seasons, Greenwood has been sick end of the season. So, we always know that Greenwood's at his best end of the season, but if we look at Mason Greenwood, yeah, he's an absolutely top talent. Very, very underrated. Very, very underrated here. And this is his career stats, obviously 76 goals, 22 assists. Obviously not actually 76 goals. Obviously some of these are his youth academy stats. But, I mean, yeah, he's a fantastic player, Mason Greenwood. Fantastic player. Got a very, very bright future at Manchester United. And I do believe that Mason Greenwood is very heavily underrated. There were Mason Greenwood's stats on the screen. I think he's very, very underrated, actually. I do. I think he's a level ahead of Saka. And I think it's very, very unfair that he hasn't been picked for the England squad with Ollie Watkins, Rashford and Phil Foden injured. Someone said we need to get Neves, and you're 100% correct. Of course, we do need to go and get Neves. Diego says, please set the notification bell on for the best Manchester United daily content on Alice Talks Football. Yeah, please turn that notification bell on, by the way, guys. Like, subscribe, share. This is the deadline day live stream, you know. After today, I'm probably not going to be live for a couple of days unless any interesting news comes out. This is the big, long live stream, so make sure you subscribe and all of that. There might be a live stream from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. if it looks like we're going to sign someone. If it looks like we're going to sign someone, there will be a live stream again this evening, by the way, guys. The situation right now is it's very, very quiet. Manchester United, it's Neves or no one. Maybe Martial could go. Maybe Dean Edison could go. Maybe there could be an out. Maybe there could be a surprise in. But I'd say if we're not linked to anyone in the next 2 hours, nothing will happen. I could say that confidently. There's still a chance of things to happen. Even Romana said it. It's unlikely for now. There's still a chance of things to happen. So there could be a second live stream today. If it looks like we're going to sign someone, I will probably be live again at 9 p.m. If it looks like we are going to sign someone or we're in talks with someone or business is going to get done. So do subscribe, by the way, if you're not subscribed, to stay up to date with all the latest Manchester United news and transfer news. I will do a video tomorrow, which is going to be a transfer window review. It's probably not going to be a live stream. It's probably going to be a short 5-6 minute video doing a transfer window review, talking about can we win the league or not, reacting to the transfer window, giving my honest thoughts on the transfer window. I think that will be a short 5-minute video tomorrow. So do again, stay tuned for that. We don't just need a DM, we need an entire new background stuff. I do think the coaching staff at the club lacks. I think the fact that we are still playing, I don't know if this is Ollie just being stubborn, I don't know if Carrick sees it, but I do think the coaching at Manchester United could definitely improve. I think that, you know, there's probably a better manager than Ollie out there. There's probably better coaches than the coaches we have out there. I do agree, but I still think priority to CDM and see how he does. It's crazy how many quality African DMs there are. Maybe we should scout the AFCON at January for a DM. Honestly, I'd be so down to do that. And Uptown Cylinder says, is Scott going to play in the double pivot alongside another midfielder and Pogba on the left wing? What happens to Rashford? Does Martial revert back to a left winger because CR7 is up front? Very, very good questions here. Very, very good questions. Now, the situation at Manchester United, I think, is that I think when Rashford's back, he will go on the left wing. I think Pogba will go back to the middle, and I think it will be Ronaldo up top, and it'll be Sancho and Greenwood on the right. I think when Rashford's back, Pogba will go back to playing in the middle. Rashford will be back in about a month's time. I think that we might have Rashford on the bench for the first 1 or 2 games where he's back to ease him in. I don't think there's any need to rush Rashford back in when you've got Martial, Greenwood's playing fantastic at the moment. You've got Sancho, you know, you've got Cristiano, you've got Cavani, you've got Paul Pogba. I think there's no rush to bring Rashford back in when you've got all these players. But I think as soon as Rashford gets fit enough and back in and firing and back to his best, because we know what Rashford's like on his day, I think that Pogba will move back to the middle, and I think it will be Matic, Pogba, Fred, Pogba, McTominay, Pogba. I do think come end of October we won't be seeing much more of McFred. I generally think at Manchester United we won't be seeing much more of McFred, because I think with Varane coming in, if Lindelof's not playing, we don't need that extra protection. So I do think we'll see a lot less of McFred as well come the season. Any questions for me, pop them down below in the live chat. Please do subscribe to Alice Talks Football if you're not subscribed to the channel. Any questions for me, pop them down below. And of course, smash that like button. This is the deadline day live stream. We're going for 300 likes. So if you've not hit that like button, please go ahead and hit that like button. It's the deadline day live stream. All the latest Manchester United news, telling you about ins and outs. If any news comes out, I will update you guys on it. And by the way, we're 50 likes away from 300 likes. So keep hitting that like button. By the way, guys, let's push for 300 likes. Hate to say it, but I think we're waiting till January to sign a CDM. And the question is, will we even sign a CDM in January? I think we're waiting until next summer. I think we could be in a situation where we don't get a CDM, we struggle, and we do go out and sign a CDM in January. I think, well, I bet I'll be sitting here. I can put money on it. I can put money on it, guys. I will be sitting here come January saying, Man United need to sign a CDM. I will be sitting here in January saying that Man United need to sign a CDM, and sitting here, announce the transfer window, and be going, and we'll probably be here January transfer deadline day. We'll probably sit here January transfer deadline day, and I'll be going, you know what, Man United haven't signed a CDM. And I'll be sitting there saying, United haven't signed a CDM. I could see myself January deadline day saying we haven't even signed a CDM. I could see myself going into next summer saying that CDM are not in another position, because every chance of the window, and I hate to be negative, but every chance of the window, Manchester United managed to miss out on one key position. Every chance of the window. 2 summers ago it was Bruno, last summer it was Sancho, and this summer it's the CDM. Every chance of the window, we still managed to miss out on one key position, and it kills me, guys. It absolutely kills me. Any questions for me? Put them down below. 50 likes to 300 likes, so of course smash that like button, guys. Rice next summer, probably Goretzka on a free. That looks like business next summer. Rice could easily go to Chelsea next summer, though. Again, that is a situation that we've got to be prepared for as well. You know, if we are seriously not going to sign a CDM this summer because we think we're going to get Rice next summer, well, you never know. He might go to Chelsea. He wants to go to Chelsea. Why go for a player that doesn't want to go to you? We went in for Camavinga. He never wanted to go to us. He wanted to go to Real Madrid. Camavinga's gone to Real Madrid. Why go in for a player that doesn't want to go for you as well? You could also say that. Greenwood is just too good. Like Mark Goldbridge says, he's a generational talent. I see him getting a move to Barcelona and Real Madrid in the next few years. He's just that good in direct. I don't know about the Barcelona and Real Madrid bit. I think he's an absolute generational talent, Greenwood. But I don't know about the Barcelona and Real Madrid bit, just for the pure fact that Barcelona and Real Madrid are pretty shit at the moment. They are. Like, the Premier League is just levels ahead of every other league, and Greenwood is English, so I think he could become a Man United legend. However, with the Glazers, Man United in 4 years' time had a season out of the Champions League, maybe he could leave. You know, I think if we have a season out of the Champions League, Greenwood's the type of player that could potentially leave in the future. But you know, Real Madrid actually top of La Liga at the moment, and Barcelona on the same amount of points. But Real Madrid and Barcelona aren't good teams at the moment. You know, they aren't good teams at the moment. United are ahead of them. Thoughts on James to Leeds? Alice says Reece, very, very happy with it. I think it's a good deal for Dan James. I think it's a good deal for Leeds. I think it's a good deal for Man United. I'm not bitter about it, even though it's Leeds, because I think it's a good deal for all parties. We can start saying that tomorrow that we need a DM. It is an issue right now, and it will show itself over and over until we get one. Look, I agree we need a CDM. We're gonna say we need a CDM all season. I'm pretty sure we'll sit here every game saying we need a CDM, but it is what it is. Greenwood got Bayern Munich written all over him, says someone, and I cannot digest why Ollie will not lose Donny Vanderbeek. What I do want to do is I actually want to show you something about Donny Vanderbeek, because I don't know what it is, but Ole Gunnar Solskjaer actually came out the other day and he said, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer came out the other day and said, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer came out the other day and said, I want to play with two players in a pivot where one player goes forward and attacks and the other one, you know, sits back and defends a bit. And we know that Scotty can attack. We know that Pogba's very good at attacking, and we know that Donny has capable attacking abilities. So Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is literally sitting there saying he wants a midfielder that's going to play in a pivot that's going to go forward and attack. And that's what you get with Donny Vanderbeek. That's exactly what you get with Donny Vanderbeek. But for some reason, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer does not want to play that. And I'm not sure why. I'm not sure why at all. But look, what I'm going to do again. I'm going to share my screen again and show you the player that Donny Vanderbeek is. So let's go into Mr. Donny Vanderbeek's stats, guys. So this is, obviously you can see it's very depressing this season. Donny Vanderbeek has played no minutes whatsoever. On the bench. Poor Donny Van the bench. That's what he is. But let's look at Donny Vanderbeek before he came to Manchester United, the 2019 season. Let's look at him in the 2019 season at Ajax. Now, Ajax are a good team. You've got to remember, Donny Vanderbeek's done bits in the Champions League. Donny Vanderbeek's a very good player. He's done a lot in the Champions League. I don't know why Ole didn't trust him. But look, Donny Vanderbeek played 19 games as an attacking midfielder and 18 games as a central midfielder. He's not a Bruno. He's very much a box-to-box player at Ajax. You know, he played 3,000 minutes last season. He played minutes in the Europa League, minutes in the Champions League and all that. But if we look at the 18-19 season, bear in mind the 18-19 season, Donny was 3-4 years younger. So it was a lot worse than he is now because Donny's bound to get better. But even in the 18-19 season, even in the 18-19 season, Donny did play a lot of games as an attacking midfielder, but he can still play as a centre mid. And I don't know why we just don't risk Donny in the pivot, because we look at Donny's overall career balance, yeah? There's rumours, they're saying that he's a Bruno replacement. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is talking about playing Donny in that pivot role and getting him to go forward. If we look at Donny Vanderbeek's overall career stats, he's played the majority of his games as a box-to-box midfielder. He's played 94 games as an attacker and 27 games as a DM. Donny Vanderbeek is a box-to-box midfielder. His entire career stats say that. And if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is talking about having two players in the pivot with one player that goes forward, Donny Vanderbeek is that player. And Ole's saying he needs the type of player that Donny Vanderbeek is. So it does shock me why he doesn't give Donny Vanderbeek a chance, because Donny Vanderbeek is in fact that kind of player that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer needs. And I do sit and I go, what is Ole on? What is Ole on? Obviously, Leeds have bada bing, bada boom, agreed Daniel James. Sarabia is now going to Atletico Madrid. So that means probably that Chelsea are going to get Saul Niguez. I think Saul is on and Koundé is off in terms of Chelsea news. So obviously, just to let you know, guys, know a little bit of a transfer news update. But Saul Niguez will be going to Chelsea. It looks like. I mean, it's not a done deal yet. But obviously, Camavinga's gone to Real Madrid. Saul Niguez is probably going to go to Chelsea, meaning that we are only left with Ruben Neves out of our midfield options, and we'll just have to wait and see if that happens. Donny should leave. His career is getting wasted at United. I agree. And it's part of the reason I'm Ollie out, but how he treated Axel and Donny and Diallo. Yeah, Axel, Donny and Diallo needed a lot more minutes than they got. They deserved way more minutes, by the way. Chris Wheeler has said there's plenty speculation around Jesse Lingard, Martial and Edison Cavani at this stage. But at the stage, no more ins and outs are expected at Manchester United. There's still time for change because obviously it is deadline day. That is the latest news coming in on a Manchester United transfer news perspective. I will go ahead and share that on my screen for you guys. Bada bing, bada boom. That is the latest news on a Manchester United transfer front, as Nick Morris says. Martial, CDM, mate. Honestly, anyone at CDM, guys. Anyone at CDM. I will take bloody anyone at CDM. Honestly. Terry says, can Lindelof play CDM? He could probably do a better job than Fred, but look, I don't think Lindelof is that good at CDM. I think he could probably do a shift there. You could probably play him there in a Carabao Cup game, or maybe if he got really depleted in midfield. You know, we played him at right back when Wan-Bissaka was injured. But again, no, probably not. Probably not the type of CDM you need, Victor Lindelof. I hate to break it to you, but no. I think Axel Tuanzebe had I would have risked playing Axel Tuanzebe at CDM because I think Axel Tuanzebe actually did have the attributes to probably do quite a good job at CDM, actually. I do think that Axel Tuanzebe could have become a very, very good CDM for Manchester United, to be fair. You know, he had that pace and he had all of that a lot, not everyone had. So I would have liked to have seen Axel Tuanzebe at CDM. I won't lie to you, but not Victor Lindelof. Not Victor Lindelof whatsoever. I would take Jones at DM. I think we'll just take anyone at DM at this point. We're getting desperate. And Toby says, yeah, let's forget all about the CDM, folks. That transfer ain't going to happen. This window is sad. But it looks more and more like Manchester United will not be signing a CDM, which is the case. We'll go on to United Journal. And I'll show you the tweets. I'll show you all the news that's come out regarding Manchester United today. We'll go to the United Journal. We'll go on to their tweets. So United Journal is a really good page. You can have a free shout here. I follow them for a lot of my news. Obviously, if I don't Google news, this is the page I use. But anyway, obviously Swansea receive a bit of money for the Daniel James deal. Daniel James, obviously 25 million rising to 30 million confirmed by the Athletic. Now the Athletic's a tier 1 source. Obviously that was the thing. It's expected to be no more ins and outs at this stage. Obviously James is done. Romana says Nuno Mendes' agent is working for a solution to find a new contract with Manchester United, City or PSG. But Romana says that United are very unlikely to get this left back, which is good. We don't need him because he'd be £40 million. So all the latest Man United news is here. Obviously, this is the situation. This is a news story. Edison Cavani could be assigned a new squad number as Manchester United attempt to secure permission for Ronaldo to get number 7. So this is sort of the latest news coming in today. And look, 2 hours ago, we got told from Fabrizio Romano that Manchester United are fine. They're happy with the team they have. They don't want to lose Cavani. They don't want to lose Martial. They want to keep the attackers they had. So the news at Man United, look, it's not looking amazing at the moment. I'm not going to lie to you if you want my honest opinion. But that's the news coming out, by the way. Any questions for me, pop them down below in the live chat. We've got another half an hour left to this live stream, so I want to power out some live chats. I'm going to update you if any news comes in. So pop any questions in the chat down below. Sergio says one of the Glazers are CDM, so they can get a good punishment session against an aggressive rugby team type. That'd be brilliant. And only 32 likes in for 300 likes, guys. So let's push for 300 likes by the end of the live stream. It'd be absolutely incredible if we can hit 300 likes. And Delo can play CDM. Can Delo play CDM? Probably could do a better job than Thread. And Axel for DM would be perfect. I don't know if he'd be perfect, but I think he could do a job. Luke Shaw could play CDM, but no way up, mate. Luke Shaw's perfectly good at left back. No point. Vizdam says, whenever Donny was on the pitch last season, he was sharp. Does Ollie start thinking that he's the top manager? Never, to be honest. Hate the biased nature. I think not playing Donny Vanderbeek and Ollie's biased is going to cost him his job. I'll be back in 1 second. I'm just going to get a quick swig of water because my mouth is ridiculously dry. She's back with a pint glass of water. But yeah, I think regarding Donny Vanderbeek, that is the situation. I think Ollie could lose his job over Vanderbeek because if you keep playing Fred after shit performance, and you ever put a player like Vanderbeek on the bench, you're going to cause fans to turn on you. And a lot of the reason fans are Ollie out is because they're like, why are you playing Fred? Like, yes, cool, we beat Wolves, but we didn't play well versus Wolves. And a lot of the reason fans are Ollie out is because they know that Donny Vanderbeek could do a lot better job than Fred does. And I think that is the frustration with Manchester United fans as well. They're like look at Donny. you're playing Fred. And I do think, obviously, in a situation where it's not really Ollie in, Ollie out time, but if you're Ollie out, I understand, because I do think Donny Van de Beek could eventually cost Ollie his job. Uptown says Donny Van de Beek is just too good to be on our bench, and it really bruises me to see Fred being given reference on Donny. If Donny played for Pep or Klopp, he would live to beat this billing. Drop a like. Yeah, drop a like. Yeah, I've said this before on my channel. I've said this time and time before on my channel. I genuinely believe if Pep Guardiola was Manchester United manager, he would be playing Donny Van de Beek over Fred and over McTominay. Even though Pep liked Fred is crap. Pep liked Mendy's crap. Just because Pep likes a player doesn't mean they're good. I saw someone tweet this yesterday. They were like, oh, but Pep liked Fred, so she's definitely got good qualities if Pep wanted Fred. Pep wanted Mendy, he's crap. Pep wanted Aka, he's crap. Pep's liked a lot of crap players. Just because Pep likes a player doesn't mean they're good. If Pep Guardiola was Manchester United manager, it would be Donny and Matic, or Matic and Pogba. Or even, I think Pep would even try Matic and Donny in the midfield. You know, I think he would. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is the only manager that's not playing Donny Van de Beek. I think if Nuno came in, I think if Tuchel came in, I think if Pep came in, I think if Klopp came in, I think even if Hasselhoff came in, Hasselhoff, you know what I mean? I think if Brendan Rodgers came in, I think if Moyes came in, Donny Van de Beek would have started one of these 3 games. I think Fred would have been dropped after the Southampton game, but Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, look, I'm Ollie in. I'm on the verge of being Ollie out because I do not like the way he treats Donny. I think he's very, very stubborn. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is a ridiculously stubborn manager, and it could cost him his job. George says, I think Man United, after signing Ruben Neves, I think Man United, after signing Ruben Neves, can as well close the signing and concentrate on available players. I think Man United should go and try and close the signing Ruben Neves, going for Ruben Neves and see if they can get a deal over the line. Whether we'll do it or not, again, you just have to wait and see. I think we like Neves. We like the look of Neves. I think we could potentially get Ruben Neves. It's not over yet, but Ruben Neves to Manchester United is looking less and less likely. But he's the only option left, with Saul looking very, very likely to go to Chelsea. And obviously Camavinga to Real Madrid confirmed. And our 3 options were Camavinga first, Saul second, and Neves third. I think it's Neves or no one. I think we're in a position where it is really Neves or no one at Manchester United, and we've got 6 hours left, guys. 6 hours left of the transfer window. We just have to wait and see what happens, but it's looking more and more like Neves or no one. It is looking more and more like Neves or no one. That was a red card after adding Varane. I don't know about 8-2. I'm not sure. We'll talk about the Arsenal game. And whenever Donny was on the pitch last season, he was so sharp. Does Ollie start thinking that he's a top manager? Never, to be honest, hate the bias nature. Ollie's bias nature. I said it before. I said it again. It could cost him his job. Never say never, as Jim White would say. Anything can happen. Exactly. Never say never. It's deadline day. Things can happen. Anything can happen. Never say never, guys, at Manchester United. 100%. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Never say never. I'm not going to start singing Justin Bieber. Don't worry. I think, to be fair, though, if we don't get any news on Neves in the next hour, I think you could start to say never. I think if we're going to sign a player, you would enter talks by at least 7 p.m. for the player. If we do end up signing a player, we will enter talks for them soon. But this is the thing. Some name could pop out at random. Like some random player, some random name could just pop out of nowhere, and we could boosh, bosh, sign them. That would be absolutely mad. But we just have to wait and see. Tell Man U that Man City got Neves. I was sitting there going, hopefully Man City will go in for Neves. Hopefully it'll be like Man City make a move for Neves, and then the Glazers will up there and go sign Ruben Neves. Maybe we've got hope that Man City go and make a move for Ruben Neves, because for some reason Man United are only going to go out there and sign a player. We're only going to go out there and sign a player if Man City are going to go in for that player, because we were never going to get around it. If Manchester City were never in for Ronaldo, the Glazers would not have brought him. The only reason the Glazers brought Ronaldo, and it was actually said by The Athletic, I think, was because the Glazers thought that if buying Ronaldo will win the fans back on their side. The Glazers said the Glazers brought Ronaldo because they knew if Ronaldo went to Manchester City, they would lose the fans. And the Glazers knew if Ronaldo went to Manchester City, they would lose the fans. And The Athletic said this, the Manchester Evening News said this. The Glazers literally went for Ronaldo because they were like, if he goes to City, they lose the fans. If he goes to Man United, they've got a chance of winning the fans back. Now, have the Glazers won the fans back? Not potentially, no. I think if they get a CDM, they've probably won a fair few fans back. But you've got to do more than signing Ronaldo to win the fans back. TD says, I'm not really bothered about Donny leaving for now, to be honest. Once Ronaldo sees that our midfielders lack control and will demand Ollie to put him, knowing Donny Van de Beek's qualities, it's a matter of time. I don't think Ronaldo can impact Ollie that much. We'll go to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, you have to play Donny Van de Beek. But I think Ronaldo will have an influence in the dressing room and say to maybe mention it at some point, because Ronaldo is that kind of guy. Maybe Ronaldo's frustrations. But I don't know if Ronaldo could turn around to Ollie and say, play Donny, drop Fred. But hopefully Ollie will realise that himself. Does Ollie and Manchester United board believe Fred can do a better job he has been doing and rely on him. I don't know. This is my fear. And this is my fear with Ollie and the coaching staff. Yes, we've got a brilliant team, but if Ollie and the coaching staff truly believe we do not need a CDM and truly believe Fred and McTominay are way better than Vanderbeek, then I am worried about us going into the season. I am. How many youngsters went out on loan? Well, at the bottom of my screen, I've done all the ins and outs. Heaton was obviously a 3. Varane was 38 million, rising to 41 million add-ons. Sancho was 72 million, rising to 77 million add-ons. Ronaldo was 12 million, rising to 19.8 million in add-ons. We've got 30 million for Daniel James, Chong, Tuanzebe, Laird, Levitt, Williams, Pereira, and Garner, and has gone out on loan. Max Taylor's gone on a free, and Romero's contract has been expired. And also Joel Pereira, the goalkeeper's contract, also expired as well. They're the ins and the outs, by the way, guys. It's all along the bottom. So if you do miss the ins and the outs, all the ins and the outs so far in transfer is along the bottom. Will we be adding to these ins and outs? We'll have to see. Gareth says that United should play Telles, but believe it or not, Telles is actually injured right now. So yeah, United should potentially play Telles, but he is injured. So, you know, with Telles, you do have to wait and see. He is injured. He's not back to October, so you have to play Luke Shaw. What about Saul? Saul's not happening, by the way. Saul to Man United is not happening. Hopefully some news can break tonight and can be a huge just like Ronaldo and DM being coming. Never say never. Yeah, never say never. Bleach Guy says, I personally think with Varane, we don't need an all-out DM. Not saying we don't need one, but Donny, Pogba, Bruno could work. I think I would like to see Donny, Pogba, Bruno. I think you do need an out-and-out CDM to play. We saw it in the Champions League final when Manchester City went quite attacking. It didn't work. I think, but maybe when you play smaller teams like Burnley, like teams you need to break down, I think, yeah, that could definitely work. I would like to see that at one point. I think maybe against Newcastle it could even work. Swish Dish says, Ollie should have acted swiftly. His hesitancy and lack of cutting edge is the root to all our problems. We need a leader as a manager, someone who is assertive with his decisions on and off the pitch. Ollie's making earlier subs this season. I've noticed this in 3 games. Ollie has made earlier subs. That's one improvement. Now, Ollie just needs to make more squad rotation and drop players that were performing bad. That's one thing he needs to do now. Sarr's going to Spurs, who are loaning him, apparently. And is there any information about Man United transfers? I'm going to read out all the transfer choices. I'm just going to take a quick drink of water, and I'm going to update you with all the Fabrizio Romano news. I'm going to give you a Fabrizio Romano update. So let me just take a quick drink of water, and then I'm going to tell you exactly what's going on with Man United transfers. I'll give you the latest on everything. I'm going to sum up everything that's happening right now in 2 minutes. Just have a drink of water. So what is the latest news regarding Manchester United, guys? What is the latest news? What has Fabrizio Romano said? Now, Fabrizio Romano said that Cavani will stay at Manchester United despite rumours that Barcelona are interested. Fabrizio Romano has confirmed that Cavani will be staying at Manchester United. Fabrizio Romano says that Jesse Lingard will not join West Ham. Lingard will not join West Ham, and it's very, very likely that Lingard stays at Manchester United. Fabrizio Romano says there's many clubs interested in Vanderbeek, but he believes that Vanderbeek will now stay. Regarding Martial, Fabrizio Romano said that PSG are interested in Martial, but nothing is advanced or close regarding Martial to PSG. Fabrizio Romano on Ruben Neves and Declan Rice to Manchester United says, as of now, it's unlikely. We have to see what happens. Anything's possible, but it's unlikely. That's what Fabrizio Romano said regarding Ruben Neves and Declan Rice. Obviously, sound against to Manchester United will not happen. If he's going to move to the Premier League, it will be to Chelsea. And then once again, Camavinga has gone to Real Madrid. That will not happen. So the only midfielder left is Ruben Neves. And Romano says that if anything's possible, it could happen. There could be updates, but right now it's looking unlikely. So yeah, that's coming in. But Manchester United do not want to lose Cavani or Martial. But Cavani's 100% saying, but Vanderbeek and Martial's future have not been confirmed. Vanderbeek, Martial's future, they could still leave, but it's unlikely that they leave. So the situation with Manchester United is we could still sign a CDM. We could potentially get Ruben Neves, but it's looking less and less likely as every minute goes by. And the situation with Martial and Donny van de Beek is they're not confirmed as staying, but as of now, it doesn't look like they're going to leave. That is the case with those players. Regarding the latest, Andrew says, I've said the same. Pep has had plenty of flop signings. He just keeps getting constant stream new ones. Exactly. No one really realises all the flops under Pep Guardiola because he just always gets a new signing to replace them. It's like when a player flops at Man United, the media love to talk about it. But if a player flops at Manchester City, the media aren't that interested in talking about it. Jackal says, in the Talk Sport channel, Simon Jordan has said that Ronaldo can do absolutely nothing against Liverpool and big teams, making me furious. I unsubscribe to that channel. Talk Sport is full of shit. I tell you this now. TalkSport might as well call them talk crap. They've got such a United agenda on them, full of crap. Uptown Cylinder says, with Varane and Sancho and Ronaldo coming in, would you consider a top 4 finish and a League Cup or FA Cup a successful season? And if not, who do we bring in to replace the babyface assassin? I want us to win the Champions League. I don't think we're going to win the Premier League, but I think with Ronaldo and Champions League around, we could potentially win the Champions League. I want Man United to go out there and win the Champions League. Do I believe we're going to win the Champions League? Look, I think PSG are the favourites. I don't think we'll win the Premier League, but I want to win the Champions League. I want to win trophies. I want to do some serious business. I want a trophy and I want to be comfortable top 4. I want to be comfortable top 4 on a trophy. I think because we don't have a CDM, I'm not expecting us to win the league. But with the team we have, all we need is a CDM and I'd expect us to win the league. And that's pressure on Ollie. But with the team we have, I think we can go out and we can put a serious challenge in the Champions League. We can actually compete in the Champions League for a change. And also compete in the league. Even if we don't win the league, let's compete. Let's challenge. We don't want to be out of the league race by February. We want to challenge. I think we can compete in the league. I want us to compete in the league. I want us to go right down to the wire, the final game of the season. I want us to compete in the Champions League and I want us to bring home a trophy. Whether it's top 4 and we get to a Champions League final, we win the FA Cup, fine. But yeah, I want a trophy. I want to be competing for the top titles as well. Andrew says, waiting for Rice is not a good plan and he sounds like a board propaganda. When West Ham get reasonable fee, I'm sure Chelsea will get ahead of us. Exactly. And we got rid of Reims but kept Martial. That's insane. Well, Martial could offer more than James. And there was more teams in for Daniel James. And Daniel James seriously wanted to leave. I think God, my voice went. I think getting rid of Daniel James was a good choice. I'm not bitter about it, even though it's Leeds. I think it's good for him. I think it's good for Leeds. I think it's good for us. Every manager has their favourites, but I don't understand why he doesn't trust Vanderbeek. Exactly. Vanderbeek's had a full pre-season with him. Vanderbeek's bulked up. Vanderbeek's played really, really well the last few opportunities he's got. He was man of the match in the pre-season friendly. But for some reason, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will not give Donny Vanderbeek a chance. And I don't get it. I don't understand it. I think it's unfair. I think it's mean. I think it's rude of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But that is the case. And yeah, it massively, massively frustrates me. Arsenal spent another 20 million on defender. Who is it that Arsenal even brought, by the way, guys? I'd never heard of them. Arsenal. Who did Arsenal buy? I forgot their name. Who did Arsenal just buy? Takehiro Tomashu has gone to Arsenal. Who the hell is this? I'm going to have to Google him. I probably said the name right. I think he's some Japanese player has gone to Arsenal. Let me actually Google him. Arsenal has spent over 150 million on absolute crap. He's a 22-year-old centre-back, right-back. I guess Arsenal did desperately need a right-back. They've signed Tashikaka. That's not being racist or anything. I've never heard of. He plays for Bulgaria in the Serie A. Okay, they've signed a Serie A right-back, centre-back. I don't know who Arsenal signed. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm looking at his stats. I'm looking at Arsenal's new signing stats. The thing is, Arsenal blame Bellerin for all their problems. And yeah, Bellerin is shit, but Bellerin is the Arsenal scapegoat. He's a centre-back and a right-back that Arsenal signed, and he's Japanese, and he played in Serie A, and he's a bang-average player. But you know what? He's Arsenal level. The thing about Arsenal is the reason Arsenal is signing so many bang-average players is because Arsenal is now a bang-average club. Like, that's the reason Arsenal signed so many bang-average players, because they are literally a bang-average club now. They're literally a bang-average club now, and that's why they've signed more players. We're signing Sancho Varane and Ronaldo. We signed Sancho Varane and Ronaldo for less than Arsenal have signed Ramsdale, Ben White, Odegaard, Lokonga, Tavares, and this other guy. Because we can attract these big names where they can't. Because Arsenal as a club is fallen. Arsenal as a club is in the mud. They've fallen so badly. Like, I don't even mean to be mean, but Arsenal is banter FC. Like, Arsenal seriously are a banter club now. The way they've fallen, honestly. We ain't signing anyone, sad but true. You might be right with that. I imagine would Donny think is sitting on the bench every time top managers can be stubborn or maybe egotistical, not Ollie. And Diego says maybe Fred is on a higher wage compared to Vanderbeek. Could be the reason why Ollie favours Fred. Ollie under pressure to start Fred. I guess you did pay 50 million for Fred, but I think Ollie's starting to become under pressure to play the Vanderbeek. You know, if Vanderbeek was English, he'd be under way more pressure. But even the press is starting to talk about it. Temsu says not signing a CDM just goes on to show how clueless Ollie is. The CDM signing should have been our first priority this transfer window, followed by a centre-back, followed by a winger. I 100% agree with you, but I don't think this is to do with Ollie being clueless. I think it's not to do with Ollie being clueless. I think the reason a CDM wasn't first choice priority, but a right winger and Ronaldo is because it was the Glazers' decision, not Ollie. I think Ollie wanted Rice. I think Ollie wanted Varane. I think Ollie wanted Sancho. I think Ollie's three targets are Rice, Varane, Sancho. But the Glazers made Sancho the first choice target this summer. Bear in mind, when we didn't sign Sancho last summer, we bought Palestri and we bought Amadiello. We bought Palestri and Amadiello last summer because we had no plans to go back in for Sancho this summer. Then the pressure came on with the Glazers out protest. So the Glazers were like, shit, we've got to win the fans back. So they signed Sancho. Sancho was a Glazers signing. They needed to win the fans back. They needed to get the fans back on the side. Varane was a signing Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wanted, and he got that one signing. Ronaldo, again, is a Glazers signing. It's a good signing, but it is a Glazers signing because the Glazers wouldn't. If Ronaldo went to Manchester City, the Glazers would have pressure on them again. The Glazers bought Ronaldo to try and win back the fans, and they make all their money back. You know, the Glazers know signing Ronaldo, they're going to profit from it, and they're going to win the fans back. The reason the Glazers didn't go out for Declan Rice, that should have been first choice priority, is because Declan Rice doesn't sell you the amount of shirts that Ronaldo sells. Declan Rice doesn't sell the amount of shirts that Sancho sells. Declan Rice doesn't get the amount of social media clips that Ronaldo, Sancho, and Varane get. And the Glazers know that they'll profit more from signing Sancho, Varane, and Ronaldo than Declan Rice. And Ollie probably put Declan Rice as his first or second choice, but he was probably made to be third or fourth choice because we've neglected the CDM position for so long, because the CDM position isn't that luxurious like Ronaldo, like the striker position. The reason we're going out and signing attackers is because they're viewed as luxurious positions, and I don't think that's on Ollie. I think that is on the Glazers. If Grealish to United had been completed last year, do you think we would have received the same treatment from Ollie for Vanderbeek? If we signed Grealish, we wouldn't have signed Vanderbeek. I tell you that now. If we'd actually signed Grealish, we wouldn't have signed Vanderbeek. We only got Vanderbeek because the Glazers didn't want to spend money on Grealish. That was the reason behind it. And Neves to United possible. Neves to Manchester United is possible, but unlikely. How will Tellez get minutes other than Cup? Shaw's been immense, but I think, have to rotate. I think it's both the Champions League, 2 games a week. I think Tellez will be more involved in Champions League and Luke Shaw in the Premier League because Tellez has always been quite good in the Champions League. I remember his debut versus PSG, he was very, very good. Neves to United really doesn't look like it's going to happen, but possible. Please sign a CDM. And Declan Gill says you're absolutely right about Fred having dirt on Ollie. Who else can those atrocious performances warrant game time? Exactly. Cavani 21 and Ronaldo 7. That looks like the case it's going to be. It looks like it's going to be Ronaldo 7 and Cavani 21 at Manchester United, guys. Obviously, Ronaldo's shirt number hasn't been announced because Man United don't talk to Premier League officials to try and get Ronaldo's shirt number changed. We're talking over the Ronaldo deal. We're in talks with the officials and all of that to see if we can give Ronaldo the 7 shirt and then Cavani can take the number 21 shirt. But what Man United want to do is give Ronaldo 7, give Cavani 21. That's what we want to do. And that's probably what's going to happen if the Premier League allow us to do it. If not, it could be Ronaldo 21 to bring home 21, bada bing, bada boom. Or it could be Ronaldo 28. But that is the case at Manchester United regarding Ronaldo's shirt number. Obviously, Ronaldo officially announced today. We will come back to Manchester September 9th, won't he? Ronaldo's day will be versus Newcastle September 11th, which will be fantastic. So excited for that. Absolutely gassed for that. By the way, guys, I just want to throw this out. If you're not subscribed to Alice Talks Football, please do go ahead and subscribe to Alice Talks Football if you want to stay up to date with all the latest Manchester United news and transfer news. I do daily Manchester United updates on the channel. Obviously, tomorrow will be my transfer window review video. Thursday, we'll talk about how we'll line up versus Newcastle with all the ins, all the outs. Talk about can Man United win the league or not. And then, obviously, once the season starts, there'll be a match preview to Newcastle United, talking about Ronaldo's debut, watch-alongs, match reactions, transfer news. If any relevant news comes out in the next couple of weeks or so, even after the transfer window, I will be allowed to update you guys on that. There could potentially be another live stream tonight at 9 p.m. depending on news. Like if it looks like we're not going to sign or sell anyone, if it looks like nothing's going to happen, I probably won't go live unless I'm in a mood or unless I'm in a chatty mood. But there could be another live stream tonight. So if you're not subscribed, just want to throw that out there. Please do go ahead and subscribe. But yes, is CR7 getting number 7? I think he will if he's allowed to by the Premier League. Why keep Fred and McTominay? Sell them both. I like Fred and McTominay as bench players. Well, I'm kind of going off Fred because he's been crap at the moment. But I think, and in an ideal world, you'd sign a CDM and sell one of Fred and McTominay. Probably Fred because McTominay's younger and McTominay can do a good job as a box-to-box. And I think put a good CDM next to McTominay can do a good job. He says, this guy says, I'm happy for Daniel James, wishing him all the best. He reminded me a lot of Jason Park, though we were yet to realise his full potential. Possibly, I think Jason Park played really well, but he was obviously a level ahead of Daniel James, Jason Park. But it looks like Manchester United are done for the summer. We don't have a CDM waterboard. It does look like we're done for the summer. Fred's handful of good performances in big matches are why he gets selected, even though 7 out of 10 matches he plays incredibly poor. I think that is the case again, as Elan says, and hopefully Palace will finish above Arsenal. You know what? I'd love it if Crystal Palace finished above Arsenal. I think it would be absolutely banterful. And Andrew says, Arsenal remind me of us during LVG years, just threw all the money all over the place at footballers, but rarely amounted to much. Yeah, because under Louis van Gaal, we signed Blind, Romero. We signed a lot of players under Louis van Gaal, but they weren't always like the best players we could have signed when I think about it. Yes, we threw a lot of money around in the Louis van Gaal era, but I think that's what Arsenal are doing. They can't really attract the big players because they haven't finished in the top 4 and they need to get back in Europe because obviously we didn't finish in Europe with Van Gaal's last season. So they're throwing money all over the place and they're like, okay, bada boom, maybe this will help us get back into Europe. But Arsenal just spent a lot of money on crap and I think they're just going to have a very, very 8th place season again. Very, very 8th place season again. Banter FC have failed to get in the top 4 for the last 5 years. Maybe one day they will be great again. And I've always said it, Wenger's never had a problem. The board was. The board, yeah, I mean, to be fair, all those Arsenal fans who were going Wenger out, all those Arsenal fans demanding Wenger left, demanding Wenger out, must be thinking they must really be regretting it. All those Arsenal fans must really be regretting it. All the Wenger out protests, and look how bad you are. Wenger, you know the Arsenal team that lost 5-0 to Man City, 8 of those players played under Wenger. 8 of those players played under Wenger that lost 5-0 to Man City. Arsene Wenger would get that team into the top 6. Maybe not the top 4 now because competition, but Arsene Wenger wouldn't be losing 5-0. Silly fans. Glazers don't worry about winning title or Champions League. They only care about money in the books. You're 100% right. The Glazers care about top 4, and that's it. Glazers just want money for the Buccaneers. They care about that more than Man United. And I think we should have gone to Basuma or Neves because with the hole in the midfield, if he prefers Fred over Vanderbeek, we're going to have to face small team defeat like we face props. Yeah, I think we're going to struggle against small teams. Manchester City and Chelsea, when they play small teams, they walk all over them. But we struggle to break them down because the midfield can't pass to the attack. And we do struggle against small teams. Teams that we think that we should walk past, we struggle against. Man United play their best football when they counter-attack. Leeds, we counter-attack because Leeds had more possession. When we play Man City, when we play Leeds, when we play Liverpool, and maybe when we play Chelsea, we'll probably play some of our best football because we can counter-attack. But small teams that we have to break down, Manchester United constantly play poor against because we don't have the midfielders to get the ball to the attack to break them down. Yeah. Neves would be the right man for Manchester United. I agree. Centre-back and DM were priorities. We've upgraded right wing and 9. Despite having options at both positions, we desperately need a DM. 100% right, Andrew's there. And Dan James is Leeds player. And Fred is the only player besides Matic who can play and play in defensive midfield on our team right now, despite being shit. That is the case with Fred. If we don't sign a DM, you have to keep Fred, and you do have to play Fred and just hope that he grows. And Elan says, to be fair, our options at right wing and 9 were poor. Right wing needed Sancho for 2 seasons. We were desperately for a right wing and centre-back reinforcements. DM. Ronaldo is oddly a signing we didn't need. Yeah, we didn't really need Ronaldo, but we couldn't let Ronaldo go to Manchester City. And bringing Ronaldo back, even though we're not crying out for a striker, bringing Ronaldo back is still going to improve us. And also, Ronaldo's got that mentality. He's won it all. Champions League Varane, Champions League Ronaldo. You've got to remember that as well. Please do subscribe, like, and vote to Alice Talks Football. I'm going to throw this out here. This is obviously my 2-hour deadline day live stream. I've got 15 minutes left of today's live stream. We're live right until 5:30. So any questions for me, pop them in the live chat. You've got your opportunity now. But if you are watching and you're not subscribed to Alice Talks Football, please do stay subscribed down below. This is a Manchester United fan channel. And if you want to stay up to date with all the latest Manchester United news and transfer news, smash a like, smash a subscribe, smash a share, all of that. There might be a live stream tonight. If it looks like we're going to sign a player, if it looks like we're going to sell a player, if it looks like anything interesting is going to happen regarding Manchester United, there will be a live stream tonight, transfer deadline day live stream. So like, subscribe, share, all of that stuff, by the way, guys. Just want to throw that out. Bada bing, bada boom, bada bing, bada boom. And yeah, it's got some exciting videos coming up, watch-alongs, match previews, match reactions on the channel. So yeah, we're on the road to 17.4 thousand subscribers. We need 60 more people to subscribe to hit 17.4k. We've got nearly 100. We've got over 150 watching. So if you're not subscribed, do go and subscribe. Arsenal might get relegated at this rate. Imagine Arsenal got Norwich next. Arsenal got Norwich next. It's going to be a bottom of the league clash between Arsenal and Norwich. It's a relegation game, Arsenal-Norwich. Imagine if Norwich beat Arsenal. I'm sorry, guys. Imagine if Norwich, bottom of the league Norwich versus bottom of the league Arsenal, 19th versus 20th. Imagine if Arsenal lose to Norwich. Now, Arsenal are probably going to bat Norwich 4-5-0. But how fucking funny would that be if Norwich beat Arsenal? I would absolutely love it. Garner could CDM. Garner could probably do a better job than Fred, but I don't think Garner's ready to be that CDM yet. And Naeem says, good show, Alice. Would be nice to see you tie up the hair dry treatment channel someday. I've been on there before, actually. Really, really good channel. I think they're called Ladies in Red now. And Lingard is staying. West Ham won't pay the 25 million asking price. I say F them as they wanted us to pay 100 million for Rice. Fair enough, fair enough. And Martial will get the number 9 shirt for France, will he? And Matic, Fred, Scott, Pogba, Donny are double pivot players for the season. It looks like that is the case. It looks like Ruben Neves will not happen. Anything's possible. 6 hours to go, anything's possible, but it's looking less and less likely that Ruben Neves will come to Manchester United. It's looking less and less likely, unfortunately, is the case. It's looking less likely. Not good comparison, Dan Jameson Park. Neves is truly the player. If we have him, it makes we can build a stronger team. Let's go. We should have gone for Neves. £35 million for Neves. We inquired about Neves, Romana said. £35 million for Neves. And the fact that Manchester United aren't jumping on Ruben Neves for £35 million. It's very, very disappointing, guys. It's very, very disappointing. But it is what it is. It is what it is. But yeah, I do agree. It's very, very disappointing that we're not jumping or trying to go for Neves. Look, as I said, I think it would have been a brilliant deal, Ruben Neves. And I do sit here going, I wish United were in for Neves. I wish United had done more. But that is the case, isn't it? It is the case. 6 likes away from 300 likes, guys. Let's hit everybody. If you've not hit that like button, you've got to hit that like button. We're going for 300 likes by the end of the stream. So smash that like button. Keep hitting it. Keep liking. Keep subscribing. Everybody hit that like button because right now, Man United signed Ronaldo. Okay, Neves could happen, but it's unlikely. It looks like no more players will leave Manchester United. There's potential for Martial to leave. There's potential for Donny Vanderbeek to leave. And there's potential for Neves or a surprise signing to join, but it looks very unlikely right now. But smash that like button for Sancho, Moran and Ronaldo. Smash that like button for second in the league. And smash that like button for let's win a Premier League. Let's win a Champions League. Let's be positive. Do we have a good pivot? No. Do we need a CDM? Yes. Do we want to see Fred or Matic and Fred? No. Do we want to see Donny have more game time? Yes. But smash that like button for Ronaldo returning. Viva Ronaldo. The transfer window ends in 6 hours. And once the transfer window is done, it's done. Whether we sign a CDM or not, we can be moody that we've not signed a CDM. But when the transfer window is done, it's done. And we can focus on Newcastle. There's the international break. No one cares. Still the international break. Wrong timing. Once the transfer window is done, we can focus on Newcastle. We can focus on Ronaldo. We can focus on the players we have. We can talk about what we need. And the transfer window is very soonly over. We've got Daniel James out. Unfortunately, Deborah Matter stayed. Lee Grant stayed. Lingard staying. Henderson staying. Donny Vanderbeek probably will stay, but there's potential he could leave. Martial probably will stay, but there's potential he could leave. Man United did want to sell 2 attackers. Cavani is staying. Neves unlikely, possible but unlikely. Saul won't happen. Camavinga obviously won't happen now. Neves is unlikely, but it could still happen. Basuma, very, very unlikely, but potential. Cooper Mine is very, very unlikely, but potential. And that is the case at Manchester United. We have to wait and see where it all goes. But you've got to hit that like button for Manchester United. You've got to hit that like button for Ronaldo. That's all I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Ollie is clueless. I think the fact that he plays Fred after shit performance, I do question if he. I don't think he's clueless. I don't like to say Ollie's clueless. Ollie's got things right. And I applaud Ollie when he's got things right. But he has got a lot of things wrong. And the biggest problem with Ollie is he does seem to make the same mistakes over and over again. He seems to make the same mistakes over and over again, and that's what frustrates me about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. David says, if we don't get a CDM, I'd play McSauce there. Honestly, I'm growing on McTominay. Realising how bad Fred is, I'm really growing on McTominay over Fred at this rate. And James is such a nice lad. He has his limitations, but hardworking, will excel under Bielsa and the lead style of attacking play. Wish him the success. Same here. And is there a good DM from the youth team? Well, James Garner's gone out on loan, so not really. Arsenal must hire Big Sam. I could see that happening at this rate. If Arsenal get the relegation strap, Arteta out, Big Sam in. And Ed Woodward played a huge role in bringing Ronaldo back to Manchester United. Did he though? Did he, Ro? Probably didn't, let's be honest. And United should sign Basuma. We badly need to see it. 100% United should sign Basuma. I agree with you. And I know Basuma's a bit of a box-to-box. I'm going to show you Basuma's player profile and stats and show you exactly what Basuma would add to Manchester United. Now, by the way, guys, it's very, very unlikely that we are going to sign Basuma. It's very, very unlikely that Manchester United are going to go out there and sign Neves Basuma. But he would have been a player that Manchester United need. He would be a player that would add a lot to Manchester United. I 100% agree with you there. And if I show you Basuma's stats, here. So this is Neves Basuma. Obviously played the 3 games for Brighton as a DM. Very, very good job. Brighton have had a very, very good start to the season, obviously. They've won 2, they've lost 1, 6 points. Very, very good start for Brighton. Basuma played a very, very, got an assist. Basuma's been brilliant for Brighton so far as a DM. Okay, we look at the 2021 season. Let's look at Basuma again. In the 2021 season, Neves Basuma. Again, 21 games as a DM, 15 games as a CM, even plays like a TM. Basuma can play in the pivot. Basuma can play as a lone CDM. Basuma's a very, very good player. Very, very good player for Brighton. And I think he would be a good player for Manchester United. He's valued at £22 million. He's obviously 25 years of age, as you can see. Just turned 25 yesterday. Very, very young. Valued at £22 million. I'm not sure when his contract expires. Contract expires in 2023. So Basuma's contract expires in 2 years. So this time next year, Basuma will have 1 year left on his deal. So if Basuma doesn't sign a new deal at Brighton, as you can see here, contract until 2023. I don't know if you can see that. You can see that there. Basuma's contracted till 2023. So this time next year, Basuma will have 1 year left in his deal. So knowing Manchester United, if we're going to pursue Basuma, it'll be next year where we could get him for £20 million because he has 1 year left in his deal. But he could potentially sign a new deal at Brighton. I do think it's unlikely because I think he's such a good player that he'd probably want to get out of Brighton. I think for the future for his career, he'd leave Brighton. But Basuma's definitely a player that it wouldn't happen till next year. It wouldn't happen till next year regarding Basuma to Manchester United, if you want my honest opinion. I'd like it to happen, but again, I don't believe it will happen. Keep smashing that like button, by the way. Let's see how many likes we can get on this video. We're nearly at the end of today's live stream. It's my deadline day live stream. There could potentially be a live stream tonight on the Alice Talks Football channel. There could be a live stream tonight on Alice Talks Football. So do make sure you subscribe. Do make sure you hit that like button and all of that, because there could potentially be a live stream tonight. Basuma could be available for 25 million next season because they have 1 year left. And we've had 3 week links now. We've had one that's good progress and worth acknowledging. We've got 3 week links, yep. And Adam Francis has signed 2 of our 3 top transfer targets that the management and the fans wanted. Yet the sound of this, you'd think we've just finished 7th under Moyes. We signed a bunch of overpriced flops. Yeah, I get what you mean. I think we are a little bit negative that we haven't signed a CDM, but I think because CDM was the #1 priority going into the transfer window, and I think because we need a CDM so badly, and the last 3 games of the season, the midfield's been poor, and it's the same old problems that I think why people are so frustrated. Although we've had a really good transfer window and we're in a really good position, and I don't want to come across as ungrateful, I think the reason a lot of Manchester United fans are ungrateful that we haven't signed a CDM is because we believe that all we need is a CDM to win a title. We believe that the CDM is that position to win us a title. And I think that's the frustrating situation at Manchester United. It's like we're in such a good position, but we're lacking one position. It's like, it's 30 million for Ruben Neves, 30 million for Basuma. It's like, if we could just spend that 30 million and get the final piece of the puzzle, I think we could challenge for a title. And I think if we get into May and we're 3 points off winning a Champions League, if we're in May and we're 2-3 points off winning a Champions League win, or it's not Champions League, sorry, 2-3 points off winning a Premier League, or we make it to a Champions League final, but we lose and the midfield's really, really poor, we'll be sitting here going, if only we'd signed a CDM and someone would have won the Premier League. If only we'd signed a CDM and someone would have won the Champions League. Because at the end of the day, if we win the Premier, if we win the Champions League, fair play. We could do it without a CDM. But I think that's the frustrating, that CDM is so important, and we worry that it could possibly cost us going into the latter games, and all of that. But yeah, we should have done Dan James plus money for Carbon Phillips. They wouldn't have sold Carbon Phillips. And 12 likes needed for 150 likes. So keep smashing that like button for the transfer deadline day live stream, guys. I've been live for nearly 2 hours now. I said I was going to do a 2-hour live stream on deadline day. I was going to originally do one 9 to 11 p.m, but I decided to make it 3:30 to 5:30 because I think if things happen, it'll be announced then. If anything does happen, if any breaking news happens, I will be live again tonight if anything interesting is going to happen. But if it looks like we're not going to sign anyone, if it looks like we're not going to sell anyone, I probably won't be live this evening unless it looks like something interesting is going to happen. Nuno Mendes, here we go to PSG. Nuno Mendes has joined PSG. The left back Nuno Mendes from Sporting has now gone to PSG. So Manchester City and Manchester United will not sign him. So that's a here we go from Fabrizio Romano just announced. And Marlo, guys, says, I guarantee Ollie thinks McSauce is better than Basuma. Madness if he does. With Ollie, he probably does as well. He probably does. Vanderbeek could be the answer to that CDM, but I think he could do a better job than Fred. Vanderbeek's not an out-and-out CDM, but I think he could be an improvement on what we have 100%. How do you see 30 million for Neves and Basuma? DJ is 30 because Neves has been quoted at 35 million pounds by Fabrizio Romano, and Basuma has 2 years left on his deal. Basuma's probably 40 million pounds now, but next summer, because Basuma has 1 year left on his deal and he's at Brighton and he's not English, he will probably be available for 25 million pounds, 30 million pounds for Basuma next summer. Nick Morris says, don't know why people give McTominay abuse. I think he's a great player and still learning a lot. He hasn't been as lucky as Rashford, Greenwood, who excelled for those ages. Yeah, 100%. I think McTominay's problem is he plays next to Fred and he gets dragged down. McTominay was man of the match versus Villarreal. And I will criticise McTominay. I say he's been shit. I criticise McFred. I don't say McTominay's rubbish. I always criticise McFred as a fan because McFred doesn't well. I think with McTominay, we know he's a good player as a box-to-box. We just know he's not a CDM and he gets to get past. And I think the reason McTominay might get criticised is because he plays as McFred. Because McTominay and Fred become as McFred. So it's if Fred plays bad, McTominay shit as well. If McTominay plays bad, Fred shit as well. But actually, there's been games where McTominay's been quite good and Fred's been poor, but we think they've both been poor because Fred's been really poor. I think so far this season, McTominay hasn't put a foot wrong. Obviously, Villarreal game was very, very good. I think McTominay's proving that he's better than Fred. I think McTominay's a decent player, but again, McTominay has put a lot of poor performances at Manchester United, and I think he's young. He's got a lot to learn. I think he's been playing out of position in the stadium. I think he's a box-to-box. But I think McTominay's got a lot to learn and he is young. But I think, we do criticise McTominay maybe a little bit too much. He does work hard. When we don't play McTominay, we realise that we need him. It's like when we play McTominay, we say he's crap, but when we don't play McTominay, we realise that we need him. But I think McTominay and Fred is in McFred we can criticise, but maybe not the individualness. And McTominay, it's depressing. Look at the other transfer window where the Glazers outplay the fan base more. Bruno outplays Arsenal. And McTominay plays so much better next to Matic or Pogba, but 100% agree with you there, Nick. And this season's most craziest scene happening with Man City fans. Hopefully, Ronaldo scores against Man City at the Etihad and goes, "See!" That would be absolutely sick to see. And watching the Wolves match was so worried how Fred was getting bullied. If we don't get a CDM, Phil Lindelof will be better at CDM than Fred. I think anyone's going to be better at CDM than Fred at this mate, right? And we don't know what Brighton were asking for Basuma. The fact that he is still there, what they demand for Ben White could have been played into. Yeah, but I think with Basuma having 2 years left on this deal where Ben White had 5 and Ben White being English and Ben White being younger means that I think we could get Basuma for £40 million. I think we could get Basuma next year for £30 million or less if he doesn't sign a contract extension at Brighton because his contract expires in 2023. Neves is a great player and experienced second option. Exactly. Now, I am going to round up the live stream here. We've been live for 2 hours now, so I am going to wrap up the live stream. The situation is now, it doesn't look like there's going to be any more ins and outs at Manchester United, but there's still potential for something to happen with Neves, but it looks unlikely. There's still potential for Vanderbeek to leave, but it looks unlikely. And there's still potential for Martial to leave, but it looks unlikely. I know that Manchester United wanted to get rid of 2 attackers, one in Daniel Jones. I think the second was Jesse Lingard. It's believed that Jesse Lingard is staying. It's believed that Cavani is staying. That is the latest coming in. If any breaking news happens, I will be live. If we sign a player, if we're in talks to sign a player, if it looks like Manchester United are going to go ahead and do something, I will be live later on. But I am going to wrap up the live stream here, by the way, guys. Thanks, anyone, for tuning in. If you had any questions for me that I did not answer, please do put them down below in the live chat in my next video. I might be live later. If not, I'll be live next week or at the end of this week if anything interesting happens. It looks like Sal's going to Chelsea, but it's not done yet. But the situation is, it doesn't look like we're going to get anyone in, which is very, very frustrating. All I can ask you guys to do now is if you are not subscribed to the channel, please do go ahead and subscribe to Alice Talks Football. If you want to stay up to date with all the latest Manchester United news and transfer news, please do go ahead and subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football, as it means a lot. We'll be keeping you updated. I know the transfer window is nearly over, but if anything happens, I will be keeping you updated throughout the next couple of weeks on Manchester United news and transfer news. Do subscribe, by the way, as well. If I didn't answer any of your live chats, I will try and answer that in my next live stream. That could be tonight. That could be in a couple of days' time. I'll have to wait and see. But there's potential I could be live tonight again at 9 p.m. if it looks like anything's going to happen, or if I just want to, do a live stream if I feel like it. So like, subscribe, share the video. Thanks everyone for tuning in. This was a one-off, very long 2-hour live stream. See you next time. Very, very thirsty. So yeah, I'm going to go. Talk to you later.